you could see that the momentum is easing up. Here's a little dip and tops out again, right? So it's a light divergence. It's not really obvious. Actually, may not even be a divergence. It's feeling rather divergent to me. Really, this high should be lower than this high, but we could see on the histograms that the energy and the power in the market is just fading off. So it gives us reason to pause and take a look at it. Now, if we break this low right here, which I guess was well, this was yesterday's bar. So this was Tuesday's bar. If we break this low right here, we can pretty much expect a move down to this Fibonacci, and we talked about Fibonacci's yesterday. And I wouldn't be upset about that. That would look nice and healthy to me, and getting ready for an up move in the market. I mean, we're not getting ready for any turnarounds or anything like that. We're just trying to look at where the retracements are, and on a trading pattern, develop our bias for which way to go. I mean, today we're going to stay relatively neutral because, again, I don't expect anything to happen because people are looking at the Fed. And we're at the end of the week already. I think Friday is an options expiration, not a monthly, but maybe just a weekly expiration. So I'm really not expecting a whole lot to go on today. Maybe just stay within this channel. So we're going to be neutral, and as far as trades go, we're just going to wait and see what the market offers us. We're not heavily biased in one direction or another because there's just really no setups on the daily. And if we drop into, well, you know what? Let's take a quick look at what the weekly looks like. And I think there was a divergence on the weekly, and we were looking to see if that broke this week. Bink. Yeah, you could see the divergence clearly right here, right? If you look at the momentum, you could see it's fading off, and we made an equal high, and we're fading off here. So for the week, which there's very little movement, you can see how small. Let's make this a little wider. You can see how small that bar is right there. So I mean, if we got aggressive and broke this low of the previous week, then I'd say there's going to be some movement here, and we could push down and possibly touch this low again. But I mean, we only have 2 days, and that's probably not possible. I'm kind of thinking next week is going to break the low of this week and maybe test this trend line right here, and this trend line goes way back. I mean, we've been in a bull market for quite some time. Look at that. And I mean, you could even just squeeze the chart and go all the way back to like here. This is 2019. So this is the effect of the pandemic right here. And then we just continued, picked up, and got on our way. So anyway, I digress. Uh-oh, not receiving enough video. Is it starting? Are we beginning to have internet troubles? I mean, I'm not even collecting any data. Only 9 minutes in. So anyway, that's a look at the weekly. So after we look at the daily and get a general feel, you take a look at the 60-minute. So we'll put this back. You guys are so patient with me. Eventually, this is going to flow, and you're going to think I'm doing this forever. I've been doing this forever. Okay, here's our 60-minute chart. This is so from where my vertical line is going forward, that's yesterday's trading day, and you can see we stayed in the range all day, and then at the close, people just clean themselves up and push the market down a little bit. Really no big deal. And we closed down, and I forget what it was, but it was inconsequential. I mean, there's obviously not an aggressive sell-off going on. Let me just make sure I have everything I don't need closed so that, yeah, that's cool. So that I'm not eating up bandwidth. All right, I don't think I could get any more streamlined. So right now we're looking at the market. The S&P is down $1. I mean, we're going to open up right pretty much, if we stay here, pretty much right where we closed yesterday. So, I mean, this is just a wait and see. If we break yesterday's low, then we could look for this thing to, or the last hour's low, we could look for this thing to move down a little bit. But I have this trend line in right here at 202. Not inconceivable that we move down 17 points. That might be a good target. And we'll just watch where we open and see if we make that break. Hopefully it doesn't happen right away. I'd rather market open up, trade around a little bit. What time frame would you use for drawing trend lines? 90-day. Are you asking me if you would use a 90-day chart? And so you could draw trend lines on any chart because every chart creates a trend. The higher the time frame of the chart, the longer out you're going to be looking. So if you drew a trend line on a 30-day, also, does anyone see the black borders around the screen? Ding. Yeah, I see the black borders around the screen. It's probably my configuration. You're so particular, Zach. Is it disruptive? Disrupting? Mm-hmm. All right, you happy now? There you go. You bet, pal. Thanks for keeping me straight. So, actually, one of my screens, I kind of changed things a little bit. One of my screens, for some reason, I can't get to configure and fill the whole screen. So, you might have to deal with a little line around the black. I mean, if that forces you to abandon the channel, I mean, my heart will be broken. Ask and you shall receive. Yes, sir. So where was I? Before we made everything all pretty. Okay, so we're looking at the 60, and we may very well see it pull down around over here. But right now, I mean, I would definitely say, based on the momentum, that we could call this we have a bearish bias based on the 60 minutes. So I'd say I'm kind of neutral on the day, but a bearish bias on the 60 minute. So we'll just wait for it to open, see what happens. It could be a very good trade. Everybody got their paper trading accounts up and ready to go. We might be looking at a trade on the break of this low. Not might. I mean, if you saw it break this low, I would go ahead and do some puts. I mean, it's telling us everything it's got to tell us. The low is 42.1874, and you could probably do 42.18. You could probably do the 42.20 calls, and the strike price you'd be looking at, or the expiration date you'd be looking at, would be June 11th, tomorrow. Tomorrow. So if you're trading those options and you're paper trading, trying to get the feel for it, or even if you're doing cash, but hopefully you know what you're doing, that's what I'd be looking at if I'm going to execute a trade. Which if my software's up, I'll probably take that trade. we'll see how it's doing. So that's it, man. That's it. That's what I look at. I'm looking at think top over to the other screen, which, oh man, Zach, you're not gonna like this screen one bit. And let me know if it's a real drag, because then I'll just change the setup. That's not the screen, is it? Yeah, that's the screen. I'll change this setup. This has got to be smaller. Oh, okay. I see it carries over from the other thing. Bink, 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 bink. All right, I'm still getting used to this editing software and Studio Shop software and all this nonsense. So there you go. Now, it was my intention to be able to show you a few more equities and just watch it, but if that's an uncomfortable screen, that's not how we'll handle things. Where's Anthony? I should thank him for telling me to switch to toss. I think you thanked him enough. So, okay, so anyway, we're looking at Tesla. You can see where my crosshairs are. There's a Tesla on the 2-minute, and we'll just look at it on the daily so we can get a bias, because Tesla and Amazon are runners, and yeah, you know, when those guys have momentum, I like to trade those stocks. So that's why I take a look at them in the morning and just get my head right with them. And Tesla's down $1.70, up $1.72, so it's already looking a little positive. So this is a typical trend reversal right here. You can see the momentum is starting to move up. You can see the first higher low, and in theory, if it breaks this high, it's going to make another high, because that's what the trend is, and we're going to go over all of that today. Um, and so that you understand. Does everybody out there, maybe you could just hit me up with some whys. Does everybody out there understand what a trend is, or how to identify a trend? Some Ys or some Ns will give me some feedback, so I'll know how to handle the rest of the day. And I'm not getting any Ys or any Ns. All right, class dismissed. Oh, there's a Y. All right, cool. You know what a trend is. All right, very good. All right, cool. You can identify a trend. Half and half. All right, cool. I'm going to make it very clear for you by the end of the day. And everybody know what a pivot is? How to identify a pivot? Yes and no. All right, Zach, you could take one side, half and half, yes and no. Okay. And the last question I want to know is, do you understand the difference between compression and expansion? No, 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 no. All right. Well, okay. Everybody's kind of slow. Maybe it's too many. I guess I only get 2 questions. Yes. Hey, damn, Kerry, we ought to open up a hedge fund together. All right. So, all right. So anyway, I'm gonna some of this stuff, might be a little basic for some of you guys, but I'm gonna make all that perfectly clear today, while making an attempt to record that, and that will be my training, a training video on some very fundamental, very basic aspects of price action, and that's what I have on the agenda when if things slow down like it did yesterday, instead of trying to find things to look at and talk about. I mean, we'll have a specific agenda. So if it's of interest, you could keep tuned in. Um, if you're not interested in what I have to say, stay tuned in anyway. I need the support. Oh, look at that. We got 7 viewers. I love it. 5 likes. Hey, if you've just come into the shop and you like what you hear today, spread the word. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell. Maybe drop a few bucks in the Cash App in the description below. Appreciate everybody coming in. And we're just getting ready. If you're not familiar, we usually start a little morning warm-up or review of the market at 8 o'clock. And then we kind of wait for the market to go. Hit all the buttons. There you go, baby. Hit all the buttons. Hey, I was reading in YouTube that it takes some time to get 100 subscribers, and we like popped 100 subscribers in 3 days. So I'd like to get to 1,000 by the end of the month. If you guys could help me, just let some people know that I'm doing this over here, and if you like the content, you could share it to people. It just became of interest to me because I like to overachieve. And if I could overachieve, then I'll really enjoy what I'm doing. Um, so if you could spread the word, um, and if you have any ideas or tips on how I could get my name out there and get more subscribers, I'd be down for it. Or anything else you think that should happen about the channel, I'm all ears. All right. So anyway, back to work. So there's a good trend reversal breakout. Just remember the term, because eventually we're going to get very deep into the whole concept. But basically we could see the momentum shifting. We look for the trend reversal breakout. This is a bull trend reversal breakout, right? Because you have the market selling off right here. You have a little rundown. We won't call it a sell-off because we're actually in a channel. But the market runs down, stops, and makes this kind of double bottom, but looks like this, right? So in theory, it's got a high, it's got a low, it's got a high, it's got a low, it's got a high, it's got a low, and then it makes a lower high and a lower low. So that's the beginning of an uptrend. And we're expecting the uptrend to continue, so theoretically it should break above here. So how we could play this, yeah, that's crazy how fast you hit 100. Yeah, man, it is. So how we could play this, to be aggressive, and we've said it 100 times, you could take the next highest break on a bar. So, this bar, which created an inside bar, you would take the break of this bar. So that would be this bar right here at the 600. So, or to be precise, whoops. The high of that bar is 661. So as soon as the following bar broke that 661, you would get in that trade. And remember, it's all about risk management, right? We have a theory this is going to work out. The way this doesn't work out is if this trades below this point, right? But that's a very aggressive stop. I wouldn't even go that far with the stop. Really, we want this higher high. We don't want to make a new low. We want this higher low, rather. We don't want to make a new low. So for me, this would be a better stop right here. I would put my stop right there, below the higher low. Because really, what I'm looking for is a change in trend. Right? So if this drops down here, it's not making the change in trend. It might be doing a double bottom, or a head and shoulders, or what have you. So I would put my stop right here. If it trades back here, I'd take the loss, say, all right, that idea didn't work. There's another trade around the corner, which would maybe this trade. But for this trade to work, I'd enter here, and it should shoot up. It's the end of the day, so you see a little breakdown and things get a little erratic. Although this is a daily chart, but if it didn't break past this low, the idea is still good. I'm still sitting in it, and then you could expect it to go above here, right? Because it's got to make a new high to start a new trend. Once it makes that new high, I'd probably take a little bit off and then just see how far it trends. And really, your goal is to hop on a trend, because if you can get in at the bottom of the trend, or a third up into the trend, then you could pick up 30, 40 points. And that's that's what every trade's looking for. I mean, most of the trades you pick up 7 points, 10 points, 2 points, but every once in a while you hit that 20, 30 point, and you might do it 2 or 3 times a month. And really, those are the bad boys that make your month. Everything else is just covering the overhead so that you could work. But those few times you catch that run, those are the ones that really make your month. So again, it's all probability of mathematics. You stay in the game, you make your small money, and eventually you're going to hit one of those runs and make a little moolah. So this is Tesla on the day, and Tesla's up $1.50. I mean, ideally, we'd like to see it run up, and I'd be a little bit, I'd be bullish and be looking for bull trades. But I'm really uninspired in the market because it's summer and the Feds are right around the corner. And I'm probably going to say that so much that it's going to irritate you, but it's like something I've lived with for the past 20 years, and it's irritated me, so why shouldn't I share the wealth? And here, it's a beautiful day out today. Amazon, which is usually another mover, just showing me nothing. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, we're in a big consolidation. This consolidation is huge. We're looking at like roughly 28.50 to 35.50. Oh man, that's like 700 points. And I mean, obviously, right here, it's in a real consolidation. I mean, it's a little wide to be calling it a trend reversal. Just no fun. The market was fun when Trump was in. I mean, that guy would tweet something and the market would tank, and he'd tweet something else and the market would rip and head up, and there was just tons of trades out there to take. So anybody got any questions? Anything going on? We have 30 minutes till the market opens. I'm feeling a little bit better, so I think I was definitely fighting something. I don't think it was talking to you guys all the time that wiped me out. And that's usually how a cold presents itself in me. Get a headache, then the next day I'm tired, then I get exhausted, and then like 5 o'clock yesterday, everything just broke and I felt good. And look, it's 8:30 and my software hasn't crapped out on me. When the data starts flowing and I start getting ticks and all of that, that's pretty stressful on the computer. And then it just eats up resource, and we'll see how we do. But again, I made a few changes, and I'm thinking that it's going to work out. How do you guys feel about the screen view right now? I know you have a little bit of black, but that screen, I guess the resolution of it, I can't get it to fill all the black. The other screens I can. What's the difference between retracement and reversal? Nothing. I guess, well, nothing really, right? Because you need to have a move in one direction in order to have a reversal, and you need to have a move in one direction in order to have a retracement. So really semantics. I guess if we broke it down, well, no, you could say it either way, right? Because if I had a move down of 30 points and then it turned around, I could say it retraced 30 points, or I could say it had a reversal of 30 points, and I'd say that was accurate, and it would be clearly understood if I was speaking to somebody in industry. If I was, sharing the information with a colleague, that would be good communication. So yeah, it's just a matter of semantics. Yeah, I'm mulling it through my head. I mean, I hear the term, it's retraced or it did a reversal, and I would think the same thing. I would envision the same thing. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, oh, look at that. Down, down, down. An hour to the market opens. I certainly don't want to start the day at 8:30 because I know you come into some information at one point, and then you're busy getting ready right up into the open, and I don't like doing that. I don't, you don't want to be rushed. I mean, I even mellow myself out a little bit before I get into the market, do a little meditation, get myself calm, clear my head. AMC. What is that doing right now? All the AMC hype. It's down $1.60. I don't know how this thing is supposed to change. Net change. All right, cool. I don't have the cloud on there, so we won't even look for the cloud. I don't know how that's supposed to trade. See, that's the problem with these sort of things. Like, I can demonstrate to you why I got into the trade, and I can demonstrate to you why I feel that the trade is no longer good to stick with, and I could do my risk management. But I mean, to manage something like AMC, it's like really a hype thing. It's really a matter of, okay, I'm willing to lose this much money, but that's not a good place to put the stock because it may put a stop. It may hit your stop and then trade down $1 and turn around. So or maybe you'll look for something technical around the money that you're willing to lose. That might be. It's just I mean, it's fun, and it's a good time, but you probably end up missing the run if you're just playing the momentum. Mm-mm-mm. Anybody have any questions? Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Well, consumer price index. I didn't even know that was coming out. Did anybody see consumer prices on the calendar? Yeah, we had the news while we're talking. Nothing moved. Oh man, this is going to be a sleepy day. All right, it's going to be all about education today, man. Right? Look, the forecast on inflation was 3.2. The consensus, like kind of a whisper number, was 3.4. Came in at 3.8. No biggie. 5, a little heavier. No biggie. Jobless claims, that came in a little heavier than forecast, but definitely below last month or last week. Initials are down. Oh, there's core inflation, right? So now, yeah, no news for the rest of the day. People might be looking at the bonds, but I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, my mom got about 4 shares in AMC that I'm managing just for fun. That's the way to do it, man. 4 shares, that's cool. How's she doing? Is she up now or is she down? All right, we can get rid of that. So that's it. Non-event for the day. So nobody's going to get blown up. Oh, I really want to listen to a little music, but I don't want it to stream and cause me some troubles. Troubles. You know what? Maybe I'll just use a pod. She's down 10%. Oh, that's a bummer. So much for you managing, huh? So what are you managing? You got a game plan? Or are you just riding it out? Mm-hmm. 8:38. All right, I'm going to drop you guys on mute. I just got to take a call. I'll probably be about 2 or 3 minutes. So chat amongst yourselves. All right, I'm back. Thanks for letting me do that. Are you guys familiar with how the pre-market trades? Because actually, that was somebody calling me about problems they were having in the pre-market. But you might see that they have pre-market quotes or something. You can see the stocks are down in the pre-market, up in the pre-market. Oh my goodness, they call them back. All right, let me hold on. See, this is why I hide in the woods. Could I trouble you to hold on one more second? All right, I'm back again. Sorry about that. No, not familiar with the. Well, anyway, there's trading that goes on in the pre-market, and yeah, if you look at the spreads when there's volume, the spreads are usually very narrow, and then but in the pre-market there's no volume, and people could pretty much quote what they want. So it kind of becomes a negotiating market, and that's where the guy needed a hand. But anyway, you know, it's interesting. You could look at it, but people get excited, and now a lot of the platforms are allowing retailers to go into that market. But that's really pretty dangerous. Yeah, you know, the spreads are so big. I mean, you could end up buying a stock and being out of the money $5 just on the spread between the bid and the ask. So I always recommend that you avoid the pre-market. It's really for people on a trade desk where they could just go out and negotiate a trade and you know talk to a guy one to one, which is how it used to be done when I was in the industry. I mean, it's not like it wasn't like it is today where it's just yeah you know you're just hitting electronically. Although there are a lot of negotiated trades, which is what really the dark pool is, and but they still have to be reported. Narrow spreads mean bid and ask are close together. Yes, sir, that's what it means when yeah, the spreads are narrow. Um, and basically, if you think about it, there are market makers on securities, and those guys are kind of like the bookies, and they're facilitating the market between the buyers and the sellers, and they make their money on the spread. And nowadays, you know, the spread's like a penny or so. But still, when you consider how many millions of shares are going through their hands, I mean, that's a good a good bit of money. So, um, but back in the day, the even when you looked at the quotes on the computer, they were in fractions, and it was usually a quarter, right? You'd actually see the quarter fraction written there, and then you know you just do the conversion in your head, which was cool because it made you very quick with math. And I actually found it charming. I really resented when NASD turned it to decimals, but it just makes it easier to track and easier for them to count and facilitates obviously you know digital trading. I mean, I don't think you could digitally trade um, with using a fraction. So, but it lost something. You know, lost its tradition, its essence, because you know stocks were like in eighths or quarters, or, you know, and as a market maker, you used to make that quarter spread. So every share that went through your hands, you made 25 cents, and it was good business. And yeah, I was a broker dealer, which means that I had the ability to go out and be a market maker, which means I could represent. Yeah, you know, I can go out and represent Tesla. And you know, if you bought Tesla, you're buying it through me. The industry is buying it through me. Um, but then when they narrowed the spreads to $1 in the regulation, I mean, it just you know just too much trouble. So if you made money by that point, everybody kind of left the industry, came off the box, if you will. Oh, we have breaking news, and the futures are down a whole $1. Ah, that's funny. They call it hotter than expected inflation. What was that, like 0.2 of a point that it was hotter? And CNBC, hotter than expected inflation. Sensationalism sells. So we're just waiting for the market to get going, get this party started. We have an hour and 10 minutes. Black Berry is boring me. Apple's down 3/8, no big deal. Amazon's only up 85 cents. It was up like $50 yesterday before the open. Tesla's up $3. Just really a mixed market. Nothing really going on. Yeah, nothing going on. CLOV. Anybody? Any questions? Anything? Anybody want to know? Or you just want to make some money? It's been sleepy all week. Yeah, man. Zach, I'm telling you, it's going to be sleepy all summer, man. This is what the summer market is. It's a shame, but it's important that you see this, because this is the time that new traders get beat up, because they're so eager to make some money that they're taking poor quality setups, poor quality trades, and then they'll be doing it big because they want to make money, and then they lose a little money and they do the next trade a little bigger to try to make back money, and it's just a miserable cycle. You just have to accept the fact that the market is really sleepy during the summer, unless you get some news catalysts that get things going on. So yeah, that was the beauty of Trump. I mean, that guy always had something to say, and he genuinely did it to juice the markets and keep them moving, because I mean, whenever the economy is hot and things are happening, the incumbent always wins, and so it's a tactic. And he was good at it. He was really good at it. But the volatility was amazing. So if you were familiar with the setups that I keep showing everybody, I mean, you were seeing them left and right. And the trend reversals, like we looked at this morning, I mean, that's my meat, because I'm a contrarian. I mean, I never believe a market move. I always think it's ready to reverse. But when I see those, I'm in them, and boom, that's like my bread and butter, that trade. But the breakouts were even good, and I'll show you like a flag with a breakout, or a flag to a breakout, and different setups that have more and more power, and they're just obvious when you develop an eye for them. And when the market has that crazy volatility, like Trump was adding to it, those setups appear really often. And even that cloud you see that I'm looking at, I mean, these are real good volatility indicators. Not that they indicate that there's volatility, but they're their supports and resistance are really respected when the market's very volatile. So if you follow my cursor around well, let's expand one. Let's see if I could find a good example. Well, just looking at the cloud, right? So if we're here, well, you could almost see it here. If we're here and the market shoots down like this, in a real volatile market, it's going to pop up and test this again before it keeps coming up. So it would shoot down here and then give us like the trend reversal and then pop back up. and you knew you were in for an easy trade right there. And then you got to figure out where it's going after it pops up and hits that. But it was like inevitable. Every time it broke through the cloud, it goes back and tests that cloud. And I mean, that's the beauty of the volatility, and and how they respect that. I mean, when there's a lot of volatility, there's a lot of respect for each Fibonacci line, and it just bounces off the line, bounces off the line. So you could close your position, get back in on that short bounce of the retrace, and then it'll move down to the next line. And it's it's just glorious when the market's moving, man. When this happens, it's it's just terrible. But if I look back on my history, I mean, around May is where I start losing money. I mean, historically, in the beginning of my career, before I began feeling it, May is where my months would suck, and it would just begin, and I'd think back on those great winter months that I had, and why can't I catch that trade? And it messes with your head. But then you just develop ways of trading in that market, which isn't as much fun, but you can get pretty consistent. And we'll get to that. The spreads that I do, they're very conservative, and they're good for conservative portfolios. They're excellent for this kind of market. But if you don't understand what you're doing, it's like playing with nuclear weapons. I mean, you'll just blow yourself up. So that's why I'm not publicizing them yet. But I just want to build an information base and foundation in everybody before I start doing that. And it's really, once you know it, it's not so technical, and it shouldn't be intimidating. But you don't know what you don't know, and then everybody's good at what they know, and it's that simple. So if you make a few small mistakes, you're going to blow yourself up. But when you have the understanding, you're just not going to make those mistakes, and you're just going to do the trade properly. Very simple criteria, and you'll find everything I'm about is it's simple. It's simple. Like everybody's getting into these chats with go naked this, and a naked short, and naked puts and naked calls, and no need to complicate things. There are other ways to impress people in the world. Just when it comes to your money, simple, stupid. Slide in, slide out, and this is what's being done. If you want to be a trader, you'll find that everybody's selling the other ideas, and they use all sorts of interesting words to sound intelligent, but it's not what the industry is about. And there's a place for everything. So there's a place for these spreads, and there's a place for covered calls. It's not a speculating vehicle. I mean, you want to make things, you want easier money. You don't want harder money. Why would I want to take on more risk when I could just go long a call or long a put? Why would I, absorb more risk to make the same amount of money? It doesn't make sense. Just not good business. So I'm thinking I might do half a day on Friday, because I want to head back. I'm really torn. I want to get back on the water, and I actually will sleep better if I'm on the water, and I'm actually a lot happier. Keep it simple by learning price action, right? Yep, absolutely. Price action is everything. And that should be your main reason for taking a trade. And price action is exactly what we're talking about. The trend reversal. So what is the price of the stock doing? That's what price action is, and that's what we're looking for, right? And then we're substantiating it and confirming it with indicators. And we don't need a million of them. You know what I'm saying? All we need is that MACD, the MACD, and that's telling us whether there's momentum and movement in the stock, or whether the momentum's fading off, and it's helping our decision. And that's all we're doing. So we could get rid of the MACD, and we could just trade price action, right? But we want to improve the quality of the trade so that it improves the our probabilities, so that we're taking less trades and hitting more often. And that's where the indicator comes in, and that's why we throw the MACD on the on the chart, so that it will tell us once in a while, all right, I'm going to pass up on this trade. And sometimes we'll pass up on a trade that rips, but it still doesn't mean it's a trade we should have taken, because based on the configuration of the MACD and the price action, that trade might not have ripped or may not rip more times than it does. So, excuse me. So we're looking for that momentum to support that price action, and we know that that trade works out more times than it doesn't. And it's just the probabilities. Um, just like when you're playing poker, yeah, or like if you're a genuine gambler, like I like craps, and I'm not a gambler, but I'll do it, and you could count how many times I hit the casino on one hand. But I know craps well, and I know probabilities, and I know that you get the best odds in craps at the casino, and I know how to lay a bet to get the best odds at the table. Because I'm all about probabilities and statistics. So it's the same thing. So a professional gambler is doing exactly what we're doing. So everybody else in the casino is gambling, but what we're doing is just playing statistics and probabilities. And it has nothing to do with the economy or economics or anything. It's just statistics and probabilities and pattern recognition, and you make money. And additionally, like when you start investing, because when you're making money, you're going to harvest your profits, you're going to sock it away, and you're going to build yourself a nice conservative portfolio, because the hedge funds are out there looking for tiny returns on their money, but they're doing it in such large volume that they make a lot of money. So the smaller the return, the smaller the risk, and that's the name of the game. You're going to get yourself in a position where you have minimal risk. So I make a lot of money on spread trades, and I see maybe 5% on that trade. And that's a good one. Or another one, I might see 2% on that trade, like a really short-term one. But I'm doing it in such large quantity that it's a substantial amount of money. So I know I digress, but anyway, it's just it's all market and trading philosophy, which is all very important. Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of music in my ear, so I apologize if I lose myself and break out in song. Uh-oh, Amazon went down $5. Really no big deal. I mean, there's really no indication that anybody's worried about anything. It just appears that it's going to be a sleepy, tired market. In the pre-market, the S&P's up $7, the Dow's up 128, which that's a nice move. 128, it's a good way to start the day. Nasdaq's down 27. I really anticipate that it'll probably open up, maybe trade back, fill that gap, and just kind of chop around here. Summertime and the Fed's a week away. It's been sleepy all week, keeps learning. Spread trades equals mostly options, I believe. Spread trades is just options. Well, okay. Yeah, you can't really spread a stock, but a spread trade is an options trade. And yeah, I mean, there are debit trades and credit trades, but what I do is very conservative, man. They're credit trades, really risk adverse, and a comfortable way to trade. But again, you just have to understand the instrument, because if you go the wrong way or use the wrong instrument, you get hurt. And then a little bit of criteria to keep get the position out of trouble from market movements. So yeah, it turns out to be one of my favorite ways of trading. It's certainly not one of the most exciting ways of trading, but it's one of my favorite. As a matter of fact, you only have to work maybe 3 days a week and then peek back at the trade maybe once a day. So it's cool if you're on the go, and there's really not a lot of action that you have to take for the trade. So it's really just an easy set it and forget it kind of situation. And it's nothing I invented. I mean, it's been around for hundreds of years, and there are actually smart guys out there who do come up with all these different strategies. Um, the other thing is learning as a trader, and I know guys who do millions of dollars and do this. They keep a journal every day. They log every trade, and then they write down their motivations, how it turns out, but they log every trade, why they took it, why they got out of it, how they managed it. And there's a simple theory. If you could count it, you can control it. So they do that every day because they figure out how to optimize their performance. And there are actually spreadsheets out there that are available, or you could create your own. But you want to be able to identify the strategy in your journal, and the time you did it, the day you did it, the month you did it, because then you can go back and you'll actually find strategies that perform less for you than other strategies. Or one strategy you'll find is bringing down your performance as opposed to another, and you could remove that from your repertoire. Or you could identify days that you trade poorly and days that you trade well, and you might be able to work that out and figure out why you do that. And it's just like running any other business. You keep good records of it, and you could tweak the business and just get better and better and improve. And no trader, including myself, has ever mastered the art. We're always looking to get better at what we do. And this channel and talking to you guys actually um, makes me better at what I do. Because I go over the theories, I go over the ideas, I talk out the trades. You, you know, I'm looking at things. It's just so anyway, that should always be your goal, just to improve your skill, improve your skill, improve your skill. And as a byproduct, you make a lot of money. You make a lot of money. And you drink a lot of coffee. Actually, when I was growing up, one of my friend's fathers were a trader. I had no idea what it was. I knew he was a trader, but I had no idea what it was. And oh, he was mean, man. Guy was mean as a snake. And they lived in a really big house. And he got home, and we went to the other side. That guy was always stressed out and yelling and everything. He died early. He died young. Left my friend very wealthy, but he died young. Morning, folks. Hey, Anthony. Still half asleep. Had a late night. Oh, I hope she was worth it. Ready for a second cup. A second cup? Hey, I'll tell you what, man. I got up. I think I was in front of my desk. This has kind of got me fired up. I was in front of my desk at like 3:30, trying to figure out how I could streamline these very sad computers that I'm working with, and they appear sad now because I'm doing this streaming. And I put together that lesson plan that I would use to make a video so that we have something to do today in the event of a sleepy market. And I'm hoping for a sleepy market because I'm kind of excited about laying this out there and seeing how you guys feel about it. And then I'll turn it into a clip. It'll be on the page, and you guys can hit it up anytime if it's of any value to you, or if if it's coherent. We'll see. And I mean, if you like it, spread the word. You could hit the like, you could subscribe, hit the bell. If you like what I'm doing and you want to drop a few bucks on my effort, there's the Cash App in the description, and we can get some people in here helping us and making things happen. And grow the channel. But at this point, I think spread the word, man. I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers in a month. That's kind of my goal. It got me all jazzed up because I had read that it takes a while to get 100 people, and we had 100 people checking us out and subscribing in I guess 2.5 days. I think I hit 100, and I think we're over 100 now. I mean, not far, but we are. But I'd like to keep that up, man, and make something. Get that Venmo. All right, yo, bank that money, man. We'll have a venue for you to drop the cash. I appreciate it. Even the thought, warms my heart. We got some new visitors. What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Zach Attack, waving the flag. See, just for that, you have my loyalty. I'm going to make you a rich man. And I've done that time and time again for lots of young men. As a matter of fact, that's one of the call I took this morning is one of those young men. Actually, one guy so frustrated with the market that he just packed up and went fly fishing, which is interesting because he's like 35 years old. So I guess I kind of envision old dudes going fly fishing, but this guy, and he's a total city guy. I mean, thin. Um, um, I mean, now he's a family man, but you know, knows the hottest clubs and stuff like that. And he's like just packed his bags and went fly fishing for a couple of weeks, and he loves it. He absolutely loves it. What software do you use to screen stocks? You're looking at NT8, NinjaTrader 8, and I like it. I like the charting of it. Um, and I could direct my trades to all of my different accounts using that. So yeah, you know, like I don't have to trade yeah, you know, with Schwab or Interactive or something like that. I could direct my trades through Ninja and go. And that's all they're about, really. It's not like they're a brokerage firm or anything. That Ninja is a platform company, and that's what they focus on. What time did you start this? We started at 8. We started chatting it up at 8. What criteria do you use in your screening? I don't understand your question. Are you asking me how do I screen for stocks? And did you hit the like and the subscribe? Mr. Steve, Devon, I'm going to start my second cup of coffee now. Get it, son. Get it. Yes, how do you screen for your picks? All right, I don't have picks. I have setups. I basically trade the S&P 500. I use options to trade that. I'll trade Tesla. I'll trade Amazon because they make moves and you know, they move enough and I can get involved. So you know, I trade on price action, and I mean, you don't really need a lot of picks. What you need is momentum. And it obviously you're a momentum trader if you're looking for picks. So I think it's more important that you understand the character of the instrument that you're trading. So I know the trading patterns, or the patterns of S&P 500 and Tesla and Amazon. And I mean, I trade futures, I trade currencies, but always the same instruments because things. I just hit like, thanks, bro. Um, um, Things have a habit of moving the same way. The equities have a personality, and once you know the personality, you could just keep plucking the money out of there consistently. And you know that's what I'm about. It's consistency and yeah, you know, easy trades, simple, easy trades. So we're going to talk a little bit about some real basics today. But you know, in the event that we see something entertaining, we're going to take it, and then you may see how I trade. But I mean, there's no rocket science. It's something that's been done for the time since the time technical trading began, and it's really what most of larger traders do. I'm not talking about retail, but I'm talking about what professional traders do. I mean, it's very simple and not complex and not flashy. It's just consistent and profitable. Um, but for kicks, we're looking at AMC, we're looking at BlackBerry, and we watched CLOV a little bit. And think some people took it here, but yeah, those are outliers. Those are not that's not a situation that you make a living on. Mac Daddy for sure. Yeah, Mac Daddy, man. We definitely like the Mac Daddy. Oh, I gotta start waking up early again. I've been spoiled sleeping until 9 every day. Yeah, I was thinking of starting a little later, but once I get my prep done, sometimes news is out there. It takes some time, and then I'm just banging up against the open of the market, and I don't want to move into the market uncomfortably. I want to be all set. So, I'm pretty much neutral on everything. You could just see by the way the market's opening today that, yeah, it's just going to be a sleepy day. Oh, you know what? The S&P turned around a little bit. It's up 14. That's nice. But, you got the Fed decision coming out next week. I'm really not expecting much, but if much happens, we'll be ready to take advantage of it. We'll just keep looking for it. Hey, Steve, how did you hear about my channel? If you don't mind sharing. Trey's Trade. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. I guess somebody was chatting me up over there. That's cool. Hopefully nobody's throwing any shade over on Trey's Trade, but it's nice to have you guys over there, or somebody's talking about me. All good, I hope. So basically, I was in the industry. I left a while ago and just went off the grid, and I've been trading off the grid and from the back of a boat, and yeah, I just decided that I needed some people to talk to, um, and started up the channel at the beginning of the week and started chatting, and then a few guys got on here who are green and want to learn. So I'm just going to share what I know, and when they outthink me, they can move on to a better spot. He has 20,000 watching him live right now. Oh wow, man! Wow. Yeah, that is quite a following, man. That is quite a following. 20,000 watching him live. That's a lot of questions to answer. I would be exhausted by the end of the day. Go get some more peeps from Trey. Yeah, people will find their way over here in time. I don't know how I feel about that, I mean, I left the industry because I was tired of being the ugly individual. So I don't want to go into somebody's house and start snatching up his guests and stuff like that. That's not the karma I'm looking for, the deposit, I mean, I'm surrounded by nature and animals, and there's no place for that sort of rat race kind of stuff. So people will wander over here. I forgot to close my trades yesterday. Oh man. All right, dude. That's why we start paper. But hey, let me tell you something. I know guys who have put out GTC orders and forgotten about them. If you don't know, GTC is a good till cancel, which means that the order's out there on the market until somebody cancels. And I'm talking about, professionals. And they put their GTC orders out there and they forget about it. And, they better own the firm, because that is a no-no if you're working for somebody. And, yeah, I mean, that's like a direct violation of the policy, because it's like a checklist, and you have to make sure that you close out everything, and you drop your GTCs. So they wake up the next day and they just take a beating. Yeah. Pyro Squad, good morning. New sub here. Hey man, thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to like. You gotta like me and hit the bell. So anyway, we're good and small, so I could answer questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. There's no such thing as a bad question. If I'm using some verbiage you're not familiar with, um, it's comfortable for me to speak like that. I've been in the industry a while, but I forget sometimes. I say things that people don't know. So yeah, just let me know what you need me to break down, and I'd be happy to break it down for you so you know what I'm talking about. And you'll see how I trade. I mean, if I trade, I mean it's just a sleepy, choppy market, and I'm about probabilities. And if the probability is not in my favor, it's better I don't make money than lose money. You'll be here all day. Producer 717. All right, cool. Hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. And if you like what I do, drop a little money in the kitty. It's there's a Cash App down there, and we're trying to get the channel going so that I could put out some educational videos and just give you an idea of how I trade. It's really simple, not no indicators, and we're not here to sell everybody indicators and things of that nature. Oh shoot, in down 850 from yesterday. Yeah, man. Thank God that's on paper, huh? Otherwise, you'd have to work the pole. You'd have to be a pole dancer to make that money back. Oh, Tampa Bay, huh? Got to be humid down there now. It's a nice morning here. It's getting warm though. Actually, I'm gonna fire up some artificial air. All right, so I'm off the grid too, and I have really bad internet access. I mean, it was adequate for trading and everything. Once I started streaming, it's really compromising things. We had a real bad day yesterday with my charts dropping data and dropping packets. The first 2 days were fine, so I tried to clean things up last night to see if we can keep it flowing. What are we looking at? We got 10 minutes to the market open. So we'll see how we go. Once the data starts flowing, then it's going to be kind of overwhelming for the computers, and we'll see what's what. But at the very least, we'll be able to get through what I think will be a pretty good and pretty basic lesson on the markets. So that's really my goal. Yesterday we were just finding things to talk about. I know you told me once, Dave, but good morning, brain. What are dark pool trades? They're trades outside the market, and I mean, like I said, I'm out of the industry like 10 years, but it's nothing new. We used to, just I used to call desks before the market opened and negotiate trades and things like that, and trade outside of these markets. And everybody likes to sling a little mud and say there's all sorts of things going on, but really, there's just the market going on. It's not like you could hide security. It's a registered instrument, and it's tracked, and it's easily counted. And the SEC and the NASD, or FINRA, it was NASD back in my day, are very efficient at keeping track of everything. So don't believe that there are trades going on that you're not aware of, or can't be found. Um, so it's really just brokerage firm to brokerage firm negotiating trades, and market makers have the ability to short a security to facilitate trades, and then they have to close that position by the end of the day. A lot of that stuff is done, desk to desk. I mean, you pick up a phone and you do that. Yes, it is. I do professional fireworks shows, so I'm deep in the heat. You can say I burn money for a living. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. Actually, when I was in the city, I had a place. My family is there, but it's overlooking the river. And we used to watch Gucci. Grucci. They have this big platform that they would barge that they would float out there. And we used to get this fireworks display like, yeah, 3, 4 times a month, when they were like testing displays or fireworks or have you, or what have you. And yeah, it's amazing. And my kids to this day love it. I mean, they're not kids anymore, but yeah, they'll always hang out there and look for it. And yeah, we had this huge picture window, and it was just, yeah, like Statue of Liberty and Gucci fireworks 3 times a month. So yeah, interesting. That's why you started in the market. Oh yeah, well, yeah. Nobody burns money in the market. Nefarious. Um, no, no, they're not. If you're talking about the dark pool trades, I mean, how do you pull that off, man? You could track every security. I mean, this is all digital. Everything's registered. It's not like you're walking into a shop like back in the day and you're handing them some money and they're handing you certificates. I mean, the clearing firm has to account for everything, and then when it goes on their books, the term just eludes me, but they get to utilize your securities for their net cap or lending out or what have you. And um, so, I mean, there's no way to hide um, a security. I mean, look, there's always bad players, but they get caught. I mean, it's not the majority of the industry. It's not how business is done. I mean, every intelligent individual knows that if you break the law, in a situation like this, you're going to get caught. I mean, it's just a matter of time. Um, but if you track everything, how come the short interest numbers on AMC is all over the place? Well, okay, so I don't know what they're looking at. To say it's all over the place. They could be considering the put interest as a short interest. So, you got to break down the news because sensationalism sells, and that's all you're seeing out there. Also, market makers have the ability to short without borrowing the security. And they could do that. Those are the only people who could do it legally to facilitate the trades. And then they have to close out their trades. And the shorts have to be registered. And then you'll see securities that can't be borrowed. Like they'll tell you it's hard to borrow. So there's nobody who's off the box that is doing that, is shorting securities. And if there's a few guys who go on the box that short securities without knowing that they could cover that position, they're going to catch you. And like I said, there's always bad characters. But it's not necessarily, it's certainly not the majority of what's going on and who's making money on it. Now, you probably saw that there's a lawyer that went out there and started a class action suit. And really, I just touched on it. Like somebody brought this up yesterday, brought up the name of some people. I looked at it, it was a lawyer. I mean, dude, that used to happen to me like 3 times a year when I was in the industry. All they do is, these lawyers see that people are making money. They conjure up a class action suit on some idea, and all they need to do is find one guy to be the lead plaintiff, and they could issue that suit to the court. And then they put the thumb screws to some firms, and it's really just good business to just settle the thing, and then instead of fighting it, whether you're guilty or not, it's a layup to prove. If you had to spend $500,000 to defend the thing, and they're willing to take a quarter, you just put a $250,000 in your pocket. So it was a decision I made commonly, and just paid people off to get them out of my hair because I'm in the business of trading and running companies. I'm not in the business of settling lawsuits. And it's just the nature of the beast, man. And that's what lawyers do. And these guys love that because, they start the case, they get it on their desk, they get it paid, they get it off their desk, and they find some other thing to conjure up and start a class action. And yeah, they may pull up a few bad characters. You always have bad players, but you could rely on the regulators. I mean, these guys are efficient. A brokerage firm, a good brokerage firm with a good reputation, gets a full audit twice a year by their regulating body. I mean, you're not getting away with a lot of stuff. So, I mean, don't buy into the hype. It's all fine. That's why nobody's flying off the deep end over this thing because, it's just hype. Yeah, it's just hype. There may be some buying out there that's inappropriate. That'll close, or some selling out there that's inappropriate. That'll close, which, hey, is good for the play, right? I mean, it's a momentum play. So anything anybody has to do to close shorts, hey, that's beautiful. Let them do it, you know? But the hype is also to get everybody into the stock. You know, I mean, this has been going on since the beginning of time, since people traded securities under the apple tree on Wall Street before it was Wall Street. And that's how Wall Street started. People were trading securities under an apple tree. So I mean, it was called stock promoting back in the day. And dude, they literally used to do it. See, now you got me going off on tangents. Gucci is one of the best. Yeah, they are. Okay, S&P's up 13 and we got 3 minutes. Let me finish the story. They used to stock promote over faxes. You know, when fax was high tech and it just came out, we used to get faxes all the time about all these situations and stocks and things that are going on. And that's what you're experiencing here. Reddit is doing a little stock promoting on a good premise. You know, a short squeeze, and they're trying to squeeze these guys out. And the short squeeze, nothing new. Professionals do it to each other. They know one major hedge fund has a short on something. They have more buying power than that hedge fund. So they go in there, buy up the stock to squeeze the hedge fund. The hedge fund says, all right, these guys are buying it. I'm going to close it. I'll take a little bit of a loss. They'll let them force the stock up, and then they'll fade into the stock and short it again. You know, that's why they're professionals, because they make money. They understand the situation. They can afford a little beating, and then they'll fade into it. So, anywho, hopefully that's my rant for the day. But it did get me charged up, so I feel good. So your company, Dave. All right, you know I like to my anonymity, so I won't get too deep into my company. But 5 minutes in your channel, and I can tell you're very knowledgeable. Yeah, I've been around. I hear a tinge. New York, baby, my whole life. I was born in Brooklyn, spent my adult life in Manhattan. 5 minutes. Oh, saw that one. So if you like me, hit the like, man. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. Hit the Cash App. Help me build the channel. Okay. Let's just focus and watch the market open and see what it does. I might bore you, too. I mean, if you're into excitement, I mean, my trading's not exciting, except when we're into trading it runs. But looks like we're going to open a little bit flat, maybe up a few points. I'm really anticipating a boring day because I'm even hoping for a boring day. I'd rather you know not have to fight with the markets. I have some spread trades out there that I just need to mature, and that's how I'll make my money today. And then I'll have an opportunity to just teach some of the basics to some of my young free folk that have supported me from day one. Remember back in the day when this got started? All right, there we go. We open up, and so far my software is not crapping out. That's good. We're getting tons of data coming in here, and my computers can handle it. Oh, and we're just pushing up. We're pushing up. Apple's flat. Amazon's up four sticks. Tesla's up 5 sticks. Black Berry's not doing anything, just down around 17 cents. Where's my AMC? Oh, there's AMC. AMC's down $1. All right, no panic selling, no aggressive buying. Everybody's just kind of chilling right now, so nothing to worry about. I mean, if I was in the AMC trade, I wouldn't even think twice about it. I just let it do what it's got to do. Looks like it's doing a little bit of a sell-off. I'm thinking, well, I guess this is a long-term chart. I mean, that bull flag didn't happen, and it's about to fail, that bull flag. If that bull flag fails, I'd say there's a good chance that it goes back and fills that gap on AMC, which, you know, from a technical standpoint, that's entirely healthy. Oh, composite turned around. Composite's closing its gap right now. That's good. We'll get rid of the gaps early in the day, and then maybe we'll get a nice trade up. Looks like the S&P was making a move for yesterday's high. Breaking yesterday's high, you can consider going long some calls. And I'd be looking at 42.35s. Actually, I'm going to load those bad boys up. And I'm probably going to take that trade. Let's see, what does the momentum look like? Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I'm going long 32.35s. Momentum's good on the 1 minute. It's good on the 2 minute. It's good on the 5 minute. I mean, it's a little early. We're having a little bit of a retrace on the 1 minute and the 2 minute. Hopefully it makes a little bull flag and then pushes right through. and then we can make a little extra do-re-mi. May just test this and then crap out on us. That would suck. Oh, sorry, I'm humming. I forget. I have a little bit of music in my ear to try to keep my head. How can someone like me who doesn't trade options use options data with my technical analysis? All right, while we watch this trade, Steve, actually all you need to do is do the technical on the securities you're interested. Because when I trade Tesla and I trade Amazon, I just take the options on it. I do an at-the-money option on the nearest expiration date, and I just trade. It's like buying a coupon. I don't need a far date out. You know, a far. Oh, there she goes. There she goes. We're breaking the high. That's it. Keep running, baby. You know what? Here, the 5-minute, we got a fib on it. Let's see if we got an extension on it. We'll use the extension as targets. I'm going to take it off, take a third of my trade off on 2 ticks when I'm up 2 ticks. And come on, give me the 2 ticks. Get me off quick so that I don't have any agita. I'm putting the 5-minute out here. And see, I don't know if I got fibs on it. I don't want to stop messing with things while I'm looking at the trade. I don't have fibs on it. Damn. All right, let's mess with the trade. So I'm going to use some Fibonacci's to get some targets on where to take off. Well, actually, I should go like this, I think. And I did it backwards. Keep going. Keep pushing, honey. I should be looking at my 30-second. Trying to entertain. All right, just to get some rough fibs on targets. Think. Extend me. No, the extension goes the other way. Okay, wait a minute. I got to look at... let me just manage my first target. All right, so I'm looking at my 30-second, and it's rolling around. Actually, I'm going to trail my first third right below the 30-second bar. So if it kicks back, I'm out on my first third right here, and I'm moving my stop to my break even. So I'm just picking up $100 a contract on the first third of my position, and it looks like it's oh, look at that, it's got some energy. Go baby, go baby, go. Oh, look, it even rolled that momentum around. If you're looking at the Mac Daddy momentum, it's rolling around. So I mean, I don't have many targets. I think I'm just going to keep looking for tops, and that's how I'm going to take it. I mean, because we're breaking new highs. There's no resistance to look at. You know, so my stop right now is at the 42.40, and I still have my whole position on. So what happened here? Yeah, I know. I took care of that. Yo, how dare they do that? Let me get rid of this. Oh. Okay, so I got to stop. I'm still right here. I'm about $1.50 on my options. I mean, this is I'm raising my stop up to this flag right here. You could call that a bull flag, and if it breaks below that, we know that bull flag fell. So I've got my first third stop right there. The rest of it's at break even. So oh look, here's a trend line on the 5-minute. I'm going to take off 1/3 right here, and I'm going to move my my second third stop right up to here. So I'm locking in like looks like I can grab about 2 points on my second third, and I got 2.25 on my first third. All right, this trade's making some money. Okay, what did I want to do? I wanted to put my Fibonacci's here. You know what? It's moving so much, I don't even think the extension's, yeah, look at that. We just blew right by the 127 extension. All right, we're just going to, we're going to manage it with the tops that we've been talking about over the past week. Go, baby, go, baby, go. All right, you're not supposed to get emotional, so I retract that last statement, that last cheer. All right, I'm putting my second stop right up here at the 44 mark. And nope, not out yet. Yeah, I'm going to take it. I'm out. I got 1/3 of my entry on there, and I have that stop at the break even. And I'm trying to look for one of those ridiculous days where the S&P is up 70 points and I make 30 on my options. It's good to dream. But you know, now I bank some money and I'm in a free trade, a riskless trade, and we're in the driver's seat. I hope you guys took it, unless you wait 20 minutes and or start the video or something, but that kind of sucks. Did you have to pay for real-time data? Yo! Are you guys not in this trade with me? Zach Attack, you didn't take this trade? This is good experience, man. Look at this baby go. You took the trade? Super, Anth. Glad to hear you. Glad to hear it. Did you take anything off? You take any profits yet? Seems like you like to just leave trades on. I definitely recommend that you take something off. Your chart is 20 minutes behind. Oh, okay. Oh, that's a drag. All right. Well, did you watch it and listen to it? I mean, it's like being in it. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah. All right. Um, you got to solve that 20-minute problem. And then, oh, look at this thing go, man. See, now if I wanted to market myself as a market guru, I told you this would work, but I didn't tell you this would work, right? All we did was look at resistance, look at momentum, and watch the break, right? It has nothing to do with me. All we did was follow the rules. The same rules that the dude set up 50 years ago when they started trading, when professional traders started trading. And this is not magic, right? All we did was we saw what real traders saw and what real traders took, not yet, you know, all this nonsense that we're hearing, but everybody in industry who makes a living is looking at what we're looking at. And all we're trying to do is hop on their tail because they got the power to move the market. Yeah, you know, all we do is have the greed to participate in it. I don't even know where I could take. I mean, I don't have a target, man. You know, we're just making the new highs. I'm going to give that a little room. How far would I let that fall back? I think I'm going to put my last stop up at 42, 42, 20. And I don't have the ability. Well, you can put stops in on markets, but I'm doing it visually. I do recommend that everybody put a physical stop in when you get started, because that's the hardest thing in the world, man, to take your stops. So I mean that's a $1 million lesson. I mean, that's how much money I had to spend before I was smart enough to actually execute my stops. So you guys, I definitely recommend that if you are trading, you get in the habit of doing that. And even if you're paper trading, trade that like it's money, because you want to hit a certain goal. You hit 5K, super job, man. And don't trade more contracts than you could afford if you were trading real cash when you're trading paper cash. I know they open your account and I think they give you like $100,000 buying power in paper. If you're just going to start trading with $15,000, then trade your paper account like you only have $15,000. Make this a real practice, and refine your skill, get sharp, trade in the environment that you're going to start your career in, and you're going to go live in, and that way you get accustomed to your risk management and your trade management appropriately, and what you're making, because if you can only do 1/10 of what you did, that's a $500 trade for you. You sold, cool, man. Doesn't yeah you know I mean, this is a topping pattern right here. If this pops up and tests the high a little bit, I'll probably take that. I actually I've got I'm eyeing this right here. Looks like I'm gonna end up stopping myself out. And it's toying with me. Oh, and I'm gonna take it. All right, I think I picked up like $4 on that one. So that, that's like a $400 a contract move right there. I'm not gonna look because it messes with my head, and then I'll see how much money it is, and I'll want to keep the money, and it'll interfere with an objective decision to take a trade. So I recommend. I mean, I see you said you made 5K. Toss gave you 200,000. I knocked it down to 25. Cool. If that's what you're going to start with, that's what you should knock it down to. And you don't make 25,000. Your investment. I mean, you're protecting your downside, but just trade a little bit. We're playing the law of large numbers, man, and we do it enough. We're going to be profitable. Because not every trade is going to work out in our favor, and we accept that as traders. We know that we lose money. That's the nature of the business, And I've said it before. I mean, depending on your trading philosophy, there are guys who lose money, for 10 months, and then the 11th and 12th month is where they make their month, and it's just their trading philosophy, So guys do that for years. I mean, there are some guys like Bill Ackard. I mean, I know he's carried losses for years, but it was part of the trading strategy. It was loss, and then the fifth or sixth year, the whole company's profitable. Yeah, big old Bill. That's a nice guy. Big heart, takes good care of his people. All right, so that's how a breakout should work. People are feeling good about the economy. People are feeling good about the market. Here's the double top that I'm talking about. If you're looking at that 30-second chart on the screen, you could see that big divergence right there, man. That's telling me take the profit. And really, if you wanted to, you could go long some puts right here, right? Based on our trading philosophy. You can go long some puts right here and ride this bad boy down. And all you would have to do to get your targets is set up a Fibonacci. And all these are free indicators, comes with your software. You don't have to spend any money. No silver bullet. We don't use them for entries. We use them for targets. So look, that's really healthy, right? You want to see a topping pattern where it pulls back to the 23% and then tests that top again, right? And then if it turns around, if it makes a hammer right here, you could take that, or you could take a conservative entry, and your first expectation is that it hits the 33. Then you're looking for the 38. Your goal or target is the 50. I'm usually off most of my security by the 50. I might leave a rider to the 60 and change. But anyway, that's it, man. That's my trading philosophy. You guys do that, you guys will make money. I mean, that's all I do. And this is really my favorite trade, this reversal. This doesn't look like a strong reversal. Everybody's kind of positive about the market, so I don't know if I'm going to take that. But I like to be a contrarian. So I see that, I'm like, and I take that and ride that baby down. you know. But what time is it? 9:47. So you know, we talked about the opening range, and I like to set that up. So I'm confident that today this is going to be the low of the opening range, right there at 42.28.61. I'm not quite confident that this is the high of the day. I think we have more to move up. I mean, I like the trade, and I made money. That momentum's rolling off, and we're looking at the 30-second. Where's that? Did I spread that baby out? Is that why we're looking like that? Where's that 5-minute chart? What did I do with that? Oh, what are we doing here? Yo, and the software is working for us, huh? Could you imagine if this move happened yesterday and my software was crapping out? Oh my God, you would definitely see a different side of me. Then it'd be ugly Dave off the grid trading. All right, so look at that momentum on that 5-minute. That baby is strong, and this is a bull flag, right? We were talking about that yesterday. I know I might be missing some questions. So look, we got that strong run up, little consolidation. If this baby could break that high right there, that's a good trade to take. Look at that momentum. That momentum's strong. It looks like it's moving up. Kind of interesting how it's dancing around these old trend lines. You know, just no coincidences in the market, man. Things work out for a reason. Let's see if we could see what that trend line was. Dang. Oh, there it is. Okay, wait. Look at that. Right? So I put that trend line in on that day because as long as it stayed above this trend line, my bias was bullish, and it broke the trend line, traded underneath. But that trend line carried out, and you could see how the market is kind of respecting that trend line, right? It pushed up through it, came down, tested it, and it's creating the flag right here. And what we're waiting for right now is what do we got left? We got 47 seconds left we're going to work on this flag so that you can understand how to play with a flag. So if it breaks that high of 42.48, I'm leaving the change off. That's where we would take the entrance. Once this flag dries out, or this bar closes, then this becomes our entry point. And if the next bar breaks that, it runs. And we put our stop, Zach, right down below the low point of the flag. And if the market trades down there, then the idea fell apart. The flag's not working. We're not trading on hope. It's a bad plan. We get out. You know, hope and prayer have the same effect in the market. And you know, we're not trading on that. We're being pragmatic. All right, so now we're watching for the break of that high. I'm not taking the trade, but it's a good trade to take. I'm not taking the trade because I just want to get focused on doing other things. And it hasn't triggered yet, right? We're not going to jump the trade and take it in anticipation that it's going to work out. It's not a trade until it becomes a bear flag. And it doesn't become a bear flag until it triggers. A bull flag, I'm sorry. Dave, you're just bumping up that stop as the stock rises, right? Yeah, that's what I was doing, man. But I'm out of it. I was out of it on the 30-second chart. When it made that topping pattern, I just closed everything. Right here, I was out of it. I was out of it probably right here. I can't recall, but I think that's where I said I was taking it. Oh, you know what? I think I said I'm taking it right there. Because I picked up $4. I really don't want to look because I don't want to see what I made. It'll mess up my head. So I think I put my stop right there. And this is what you can expect. I mean, it's uncommon that it just you know, hits there and comes down. It's uncommon to make a single top. It usually tests it again, and you could expect it to do a test. And there it is. Here's the test right here. The momentum is still rolling over, but if we look at the 5-minute, the momentum's starting to look at the roll on the 5. So, you know, from the 30, oh man, that 1 minute is rolling over too. I mean, I would close that trade unless you should be out of the trade. If you want to enter again, enter on that flag. You know, because if you're looking at the 2 minute, it's rolling over. And that doesn't mean that it's definitely going down, but it's telling me, all right, you know, it might have lost its steam. It'll pick up steam again if that flag triggers. You know, here's the 2 minute, and you see the momentum's rolling down, kind of telling me to get out of the trade. Here's the top of the 2 minute, and that's the test. So if it triggers, we're going to enter at 47.69 plus or minus, and that's going to trigger the trade. And we're going to watch it move up to the 48.74, and if it breaks that, we know this baby's going to keep going. It could tap that and turn around. If it turns around, our stop is right here, and that's the most risk we're going to take on this trade. So we got 3-point risk on this trade. We want to make at least 6 because we like to hold a 2-to-1. If you hold a 2-to-1 risk-reward ratio, you only have to be right 33% of the time. I think I could manage that. Anybody like Bob Dylan? I got some Bob Dylan in my ear right now. I'd like to play it for you, but I think there's copyright issues I have to think about. Oh, this just gets me fired up, man. I have cash in my regular account, but I am using my regular username, but on the paper trade side. Why? What did you read? Oh, definitely not me. Love Bob. What the hell are you guys doing? I'm having all this fun. You guys are chit-chatting about loving Bob. Having a bro relationship. Questions are trading options on SPX. What would happen if you were to exercise your option? There aren't any shares. Yeah, it's cash settlement. It's considered a cash settlement option. As a matter of fact, I think there are even options on equities that are just considered cash settlement. So you have to know what you're trading. But yeah, SPX, any index of cash settlement. Yeah, you know, there were options on the presidential election. Yeah, you know, they didn't deliver presidents. You know, it's just cash settlement. Look, look, look. You watching that flag? Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. All right, so now we're testing that high, and that's the test. If the bear flag's going to fail, it's going to fail right there. Turn around. Once it breaks that low, we consider that a failed flag, and it's a bull flag. I know I keep saying that, but you know, excuse my eccentricities. Come on, let's get some energy. Look, I'm looking at the composite. It looks like it's getting ready to break the high, but Russell's trading off, so it looks like the markets are losing a little steam. I don't know if this flag is going to make it happen. Tesla looks like it's just rounding the top. Nope, composite's making the move. If the composite pushes through, it's going to drag the S&P up. Come on, baby. There it goes. Go, baby, go. So because it's kind of slow and weak, if I entered that trade, I would probably just move my stop up here, cut my loss a little bit. Because it really shouldn't turn around at this point for a legit flag. Yeah, you know, I mean, it could turn around, tap it, and take off, but the manner in which a flag should behave is that this baby should just keep going, 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 going. And if you look at that 30-second, if you follow my cursor, that 30-second momentum is really kind of fading out, but yeah, maybe it'll bottom here and turn around. I'm starting to lose faith in that flag. I think I'd probably close it after that display and not even risk. Oh, look at that. It's going to head shake me. I could be the weak sister of the day on that flag. I'm not in it, though. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the questions. I'm watching the market. Because it's fun, fun, fun. Oh! Okay, so I probably would close this trade right there. Although this flag does not fail until it goes to 42.44. But just doesn't feel right. So I just cut my loss. I mean, if it runs, it's no big deal. There's always another trade around the corner. So I made a few bucks. It was a good trade. I made some good money. Obviously, the amount of money you make is based on the size that you trade. And you know, really, if I didn't take another trade all day, this is a very positive day. And you know, as you guys know, I do um, vertical puts, and those are working for me. So you know, it's a good day. I made money. So now I'll sit back and I'll keep an eye on the market if I wasn't entertaining everybody on YouTube, and I'll just take real good quality, hot looking trades. I won't try to make a buck. I won't try to find a trade. But when somebody hits me and I'm like, oh man, that's gonna rip, boom, I'll go in. And you guys will get like that. You know, you'll just see something and you're gonna know it's gonna go. And I think you probably felt it at that break that we took this morning. You probably saw that. You saw the energy in the market. You saw it moving. Definitely a different market from what we were looking at yesterday and yesterday afternoon. And you could feel it's time to go. You know, it's time to get in there and get a trade. And you know, if you don't trade at all in a day, that's cool. You know, I'd say after risk management, it's knowing when not to take a trade. And I'll bet dollars to donuts that that's the move of the day. Everything's going to chop around after this, you know. People have made their money. You got the Fed lurking next week. Tomorrow's Friday. It's summertime. Everybody wants to go to the Hamptons. Man, I got these carpenter ants in a log house. Whew. I don't get rid of these guys by next season, I'm going to be sitting outside. Oh, look at that. We made good money. Market's only up 30 points. That's just a nice, healthy day. All right. So that's what we're about here at Off-Grid Trading. We're making our free folks some money. So if you're having a good time, man, spread the word. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. Hit up that Cash App. Send some money so that I could get some learning videos out. Which, once the market dries up, we're going to start, we're going to make a learning video live. Roth IRA, rollover IRA. Dude, I'm dropping pearls of wisdom. Are you guys paying attention? Pearls of wisdom. Am I having fun all by myself? I know Kerry's with me. She's paying attention. I hope she took that trade. How much money did AMC make today? Oh, all right. You would have made 30 cents if you jumped in AMC. Looks like the composite's building a head and shoulders on the 1 minute. It would be nice if we could see a head and shoulders on the S&P and we can demonstrate that. But we'd really be trying. And look, it looks like it's making another move for the high, like a triple top. And the momentum looks like it's rolling. What's happening on the momentum on the 5 minute is still good, man. There it goes, making another high. So theoretically, you could take every break of a new high and probably do well. But since nobody's paying attention anymore. Sorry, Dave. Just trying to get real-time data so I can make trades with you guys. All right, cool, man. Don't worry. There's another trade around the corner. Set yourself up. But see, this is why we wake up early, so that we don't miss anything in the market, you know. So I was up at, I was in my office or my study. I'm trying out study. I don't like the term office. I was in my study at 3:30, getting my computer right, so we didn't go through what we went through yesterday. And I don't want to jinx myself, but looks like it's working all right. All right, I'm having fun. What do you say? We leave on a high note. It's a wrap. Let's all go to the beach. Help me. Learning curve. Still learning my paper trading platform. All right, cool. Yeah, you know what? How you're going to learn that paper trading platform is, yeah, just trying to get off a trade, making mistakes, and cleaning up. I've been doing that for 20 years. I'll be able to do it again for you. Or I've been doing that trade for 20 years. I'll be able to do it again for you. But it looks like that market is on a march, although little congestion going on here. 30-minute. Yeah, I think we're going to have a retrace. All right, so the good thing here is we are going to look. What time is it? What time is it? All right, wow, we just made, that's our, all right, so we talked about our opening range, right? And it's very funny how these things work. So I'm looking at my 5-minute. There's the 10 o'clock. This is the high. I'm going to leave that diagonal line there. This is the high of our opening range. Let's pick a color. Yeah, baby, yeah. All right, I'm all right. I got to meditate a little bit. Calm down. We're going to use sea green because I missed the water. No, that's not our opening range. Where'd that sucker come from? Yeah, we'll just move it up. We're not using it. Bank. Ooh-wee. Dink. All right, this is our opening range, right? So what we're going to watch is for this to make a topping pattern, and then we're going to see if we could trade this baby down. And let's just grab this fib right here. And put it right there. And you come on up here to that high. So if we get a good topping pattern, we're going to look for a trade down to 39. Where's this trading right now? 47.39. Yeah, I could take 8 points. We might be able to pick up $4 on a contract. I'd find interest in that, depending on where we enter. What's the run? We got 49 to, call it 29. Now we got 20 points in it. If we get a good hammer, we might be able to catch 10 points. Let's just see what she looks like. Oh, you know what? She looks like she's already... Nah, it's too early. Too early for a retrace. Too early. Everybody's still interested. It wasn't that bad. Oh, look at that. She just fell off. Too early for a retrace, man. I think we're going to make another hit at the top. That's a long consolidation too, man. We may not get a decent retrace because it's just consolidating a long time. So it's just building strength in that area. That may be our only move of the day. Looks like it might push up right now. No, I'm looking at the wrong chart. Super job, Dave. Ooh-wee. We can get rid of you. We'll miss you, bro. Grab me a Slim Jim. Nah, I'm just kidding, Anthony. I don't eat dirty meat. All right, I know I'm being a little quiet. I'm just watching the market, watching the price action, trying to figure out if we're going to get that retrace. I mean, it's retracing a little bit, but it seems too soon to make a serious move. At least not a move I can make money on. So breaking the 6 might get a little support around 41. Breaking the 46, it might get a little support around 41. And that's 42.41. I'm just making my life easy. And that's not enough of a move for me to make the money. On the 30-minute, it would have been cool. That just retraced too soon. Although, what are we touching? We're touching the 23 on the fib. Oh, we just pulled right through that. Ooh-wee. Oh, look, you see how the cloud is working, right? The 33% is kind of lining up with the cloud right there. And whenever you get two indicators that hit in the same spot, that's always a good target. This just didn't give me an entry that I would have taken. A better man may have. With these boots. Bounce, baby, bounce, baby, bounce. Wow, this thing is just coming back. I didn't get involved because this is such a long consolidation that it makes me question the strength of the move. But you arguably could have called it a triple top, which it's actually a triple top, and you could put your trend line in like that, and you could see how it kind of does that little retrace, respects the trend line, does a retrace, can't sustain itself, and then breaks it, right? and you would look to make that break right there, take that break. And the fact that it topped here, and if you look at the momentum down here, if you're following my cursor, you'll see it's nice and high. And then it topped out over here, and you look at the momentum, and it's dramatically low. I mean, really, this is screaming trade. And then it topped out right here, and it's very low. You could argue that this would be a good trade, but because it's so long, it kind of loses its momentum as a bearish trade. So we're looking at 42.26, and it's 42.24, so you got 2 points in it. So if you're trading options, you're picking up $1. It's 100 a contract. It's not really a trade that I'm looking for. And if it wasn't so long, I would take an aggressive entry somewhere over here. But being so long, it just seems like it's consolidating. I think I hear shots. What's going on in the market? What is going on? Composite traded off a little bit also. S&P traded off. The patterns look the same, composite being the Dow. The Russell traded off aggressively, and the Russell is actually negative. That's interesting. And the Dow is up 176. So a little bit of a mix in the market. Financials are off $3. I guess interest rates are probably going down. Energy is up $5. And that's about it. Black Berry isn't doing anything for me. I have a fun interest in that, but I think I'm kind of considering what I'm going to do about it today. It's just distracted. Distracting. Pyroscribe, what software are you using? Are you trading on, Dave? Okay, so my charts are Ninja Trader, NT8, and that's what I use in my charts. But I execute on different platforms in clearing firms. I don't like the option execution. When I'm doing futures and things of that nature, I use the Ninja. So they're good for futures. Actually, I use it primarily for futures, but for options contracts, I just, like Toss is good, or if you're in Interactive Broker or Charles Schwab, and those are really the only guys I have experience with. But and I've never really traded on Toss, but I believe that's a mirror trade, right? I could take a look. Yeah, but for charting, I like that. But I've seen a lot of guys use TradeStation or Thinkorswim for their charting, mostly TradeStation. And that charting is really good charting too. I know the software. I don't want to have to relearn things. I'd rather everything just be a habit, and that's it. And that's what they do. They create a trading software, a charting software. It's not a clearing firm or anything like that. And you can get it for free and use it on delayed data. So if you were just trading long term, like for the day and stuff like that, and just need like day charts, week charts, month charts, and 60-minute charts at the end of the day, you could upload the free software and do all your charting work and everything like that. And they have a paper account that you could trade. But I think you have to pay for the real-time data. Tommy, you always have him. Yeah, man, you missed something. I don't know when you stepped away. Yeah, there was a nice trade. We took the first trade on the run up. After that, it's doing a topping pattern. It did a little reversal. If you're looking at the chart that's up there, you could see the topping pattern right here. It was a little long for me, so I wasn't encouraged to take it, thinking that it wouldn't have much momentum, which really right here on the break would have kind of confirmed that it was going to trade down. And I mean, it's down $3, so it's not really a trade I lament missing. Although, you know, it could continue. It looks like it's slowing down. I'm on the 1 minute. Yeah, I think it's going to probably make another top, but I don't think much more is going to happen for the rest of the day. Can you speak to exit strategies to consider when selling shares? Okay, did you follow the trade when I did it? So, exit strategies. Okay, so basically, we took the break right here, right? So, on this break, actually, if you look, you had a pull up, and I don't recall if we took it on the flag or if we took it on the break, but you had a run up, it created a flag, gave you an entry, right? And took the break. So I would have entered, you could have entered here, or you could have entered on the flag, and I think we entered here, and put the stop right down where my cursor is. Oh, you're talking about AMC? No, talking about, okay. Could I talk about the exit? I don't understand what you mean. AMC? Such a good trade, and you guys are worried about AMC? Pyroscard. Use Charles Schwab. Have been an investor. Just now learning to trade. Yeah, Schwab's good. I mean, you know, it's cost effective. But they don't have tick charts or 30-second charts, and that's a problem. Can you speak to exit strategy to consider when selling shares? Your exit strategy depends on your trading philosophy and why you entered the stock and how you manage it. You know, when you bought AMC, you bought AMC because there was hype. So based on that, your exit strategy would be when the hype ends. So, and because the catalyst is hype, we could look at it technically, but it's really not applicable. You know, like the technicals could break down just because nobody's talking about the stock right now, and then tomorrow they could talk about the stock, and the thing could go through the roof. You know, so are you? Yeah, I bought AMC shares a while ago, up 40%, 440%, looking to sell shares at the right time. I mean, if 404% is in the right time, it never is. All right, cool. So, all right, under those circumstances, if I was trading it, I'm gonna get a day chart. Um, all right, let's take Tesla and see if we can get some AMC up on it. My computer, I don't even want to say it because it's been behaving. Maybe it was the vendor yesterday, or maybe it's what I did. Who knows? Okay, so if I was, you're in the driver's seat. Have you taken anything off yet? All right, that's cool. Yeah, have shares. That's a better move because you have time. If you do it with options, you got to be out 1, 2, 3. Um, so so have you taken anything off the table? Or you still have your whole investment in it? No. All right. So if I was trading it, I'd lock something up, man. 404%. I mean, take half off. You know, and let the other half run. If the other half goes to 100, so you made more money on the other half, but at least you banked some money. You know, and you know, 404%, that might have built your trading portfolio where you could go and you could trade professionally. You have capital. So why compromise that capital? And then, you know, if you don't want to miss out, then you have half your position running. I mean, this is how I would look at it. So you're in. Am I looking at AMC? No, this is still a Tesla chart. Come on, load up. All right, we're loading up. I saw that 700 number. I was like, what? I still have my whole investment in it. Okay, I understand. So if you're asking me what I would do with it, I would take some money off the table. I mean, you know, is this the natural behavior of a squeeze place Reddit hype stock? You know, you don't know, right? You don't know if this is the natural behavior or what. There are so many variables in a trade like this that it's kind of difficult to manage. Why does this not want to recognize it? Wait, don't I have AMC up on here? Let's put Tesla back. Thought I had AMC up in here. Nope, Amazon. Oh yeah, there's AMC. All right, cool. Oh no, that's the same. Yeah, I got to put some money in my hardware over here if I continue this program. All right, here's AMC. Let's see if we can get it daily. It started moving. All right, so I would lock up. I would take half my profit, and because there's so many variables, I would take half my profit and then be able to play with the stock. I mean, with if you're expecting this thing to take off, you took half your profit off the table and then put a stop loss at your break even, then you got nothing to lose. You could just sit around and wait for it to do what it's got to do. You know, because I mean, just on this trigger right here, if it was a trading situation, I would look to protect myself right here. Because this is, you know, you have this run up, you have this inside bar, here's a break of the inside bar. Theoretically, if I traded that inside bar, it shouldn't trade below that right there. You know, but this is if I'm trading an inside bar. But you know, you're not. This is, you know, it's a crapshoot. So lock up half. If I was in a crapshoot, I would take half of what I got right now. Maybe I'd even take 2/3 of what I got right now, and then I'd just put my stop at my break even. So whatever I've got on the table doesn't hurt my profits. And if this thing takes off, then you'll get ridiculous numbers. You know, out of the piece you leave on the table. If the idea doesn't work, then hey, you still made money. If everybody wants to get in right at the low and out right at the high, I haven't quite mastered that skill yet. Thanks, David. This is exactly why I'm here, to learn from a professional. All right, cool. I hope I'm explaining myself in a polite manner. I'm really not a nice guy, but I'm trying. I'm trying. I also don't say the last consonants in my words. All right, this is a fun day already, and I'm not tired. I don't feel well. Everything's coming up roses. I'm hanging out with my free folk who are happy to be here. That's why they hit the like button and they subscribe. They hit the bell. They spread the word. And every once in a while, they hit me up on that Cash App so I could pay some folks to do a little editing and build this channel. Okay, cool. I'm explaining myself well. All right, cool. I appreciate your input. Here's something that's cool to look at on my 1 minute chart. And everybody realizes that I trade from multiple charts, right? I like to see and get a good picture of what's going in and how everything relates to everything. All right, so you see this move down right here, and then it trades up and it moves down and it traded up and it looks like it's coming down. It looks like it's building a head and shoulders on this move down, which means it's indicating to me, and we're talking about S&P 500, it's indicating to me that it might be getting ready to try to make another top. So I would put a trend line, and I think Zach Attack was asking me about trend lines yesterday. I would put a trend line right there, right? And these shoulders are lining up. I'm saying this is looking like a pretty good head and shoulder. The idea that the neckline, right, that's what you would call this, the neckline, is a little lower, doesn't really bother me. I mean, ideally, the necklines line up and the shoulders line up and the head's there. But, you know, we don't want to be idealists. We want to be pragmatic. Now it looks like the head and shoulders might be falling apart and not really creating that pattern. And I'm looking down at my momentum, and what's my momentum doing? My momentum for a good shoulder head and pattern, inverted head and shoulders, my momentum really should be pushing up a little bit. So it looks like we may not get that pattern. And that's why we don't jump into a trade hoping the pattern works out. We wait for the triggers and we jump in when it triggers. Because if this doesn't work out, no biggie, I'm not in the trade. It could just be a continuation, you know, because this is a lower high, a lower low. That's a lower high. And then if it breaks here, it'll make a lower low. Oh my goodness, I'm out of coffee. Got to switch to water. I hope I unplugged the coffee pot. I guess I'll know soon enough. And we're just sitting here watching that thing tick its way out. Yes. It's always good when you turn over to your screen and you see yes. Yes, Mr. Williams. So, Dave, earlier I wasn't asking about your company, but rather trying to learn what a brokerage is, what exactly they do. Do people start them with their own capital and hire people to trade? Okay, so a brokerage firm, and depending on what their designation is, it could be a broker dealer or a brokerage firm. And a broker's a broker, just like in real estate. Oh, look at that. It broke the line. It's a pretty good head and shoulders. It should keep moving up. Yeah, I didn't duck your question either. It's just the market got rocking and rolling, and you know that's my primary function. Okay, so a brokerage firm employs brokers who. Okay, so one aspect of my company was the guy who used to call everybody on the phone and harass them to get into the stock market and open up an account. That's what a broker is. So you go into, I mean, Merrill Lynch, they advertise and people walk through the door. You know, firms that don't have that advertisement presence, they'll call you right on the phone. And you know, basically that's what the brokerage firm did. The brokerage aspect of the firm. So now you have another aspect of the business, which is called the broker dealer, which means we're the dealers in the stock. So we're the market makers in the stock. We facilitate the trades in the stock. You understand what I'm saying? So you could look at it like the bookie. We're the bookies, you know, and you're placing your bets with us, and we're making our money on the spreads. You know, laying the trades off on people all over the industry. So that's what it is. And I know the term bookie might give it a negative connotation, but it's a good way to figure what we're doing. We're the dealers. We're the guys making the bids and asks, and the rest of the industry, retail and industry, are coming to us to buy the securities. If we don't have the security, we go short and we go out into the public market and fill our short. And if we have the security in stock, we sell the security right in stock. So that's the only place also that you could find what they call a naked short, but it's not a naked short. You just short and you got to cover it, right? But they come up with all these creative terms, and the synthetic concept came out of the credit swap markets. So anyway, that's what a broker and a dealer is, okay? And the guys representing, so you have brokers who are brokers and represent the public in the market and work on commission. The guys on the desk facilitating the trades are the traders and the trading. And then you have trading firms that these guys just trade and they make money, just like we're trading right here. You know, hedge funds, trading firms, and things of that nature. So there's a difference between a brokerage firm and a trading firm, you know, and brokers are just that. You know, it's right in the title. They're brokers. Okay, broker equals bookie. Well, no. Broker is a broker, like a real estate broker or anything like that. A firm that's a broker dealer is represents themselves as a market maker. So market maker equals market maker is kind of the concept of bookie. I don't want to say equals bookie because it really demeans what's actually an honorable and challenging profession. You know, and these market makers, they're really smart people and have a good feel for what's going on in the market, and they're genuinely honest because there's so much money in doing it that there's no reason not to be honest. So it's genuinely honest people that are facilitating all these trades, and you know, I don't want it to get caught up in all the hate porn. So that's a market maker. It's kind of like the idea of a bookie. They make money in the spreads. They lay off, you know, to control their risk. But it's a very honorable and savvy and difficult profession. You dig? Okay, market maker. I get it. Cool. So they make the market, right? When you go to the market, who you buying from? You're buying from the market makers. And you have to be a dealer to do that, a broker dealer. So that's a different license. And actually, you know what? I don't know what the designations are anymore. I mean, I've been off the box for over 10 years. And that's what you call it when you're a market maker and you're trading at a desk. You're on the box. I'm just giving you in industry terms. You'll probably never hear it again unless you're sitting on a desk, if they even use that term anymore. But I haven't been there for years, so I don't even know if the designations are still around. But so you could be a broker, you could be a broker dealer, you could just be a market maker without the broker end. You know, you just set up a proprietary firm, and you could just have the market maker aspect of it without the brokerage end, which a lot of guys do that. A lot of firms do that. Mostly the clearing firms do that. Yeah, I'm not associated a bad word with bookie. Just trying to understand. Yeah, I cool you. I understand. But yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know who I'm talking to out here, so I want everybody to understand. You know what these guys are about, because we get painted in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? I mean, according to everybody, we're all Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street, and you know, or Greg Hashio from Boiler Room, and you know, that's not really the whole industry. That's just good for Hollywood. Yeah, there's a professor. Well, yo, dude, you're talking to one. I mean, I just made a living being a trader. That's a trader. So there are different size traders. There are guys out there, which a real trader, I mean, he's out there, they're repping billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? And there are trading firms that have private capital that you're on a desk trading that firm's capital. You know, and they have criteria and they teach you and they have guidance and they're very strict about the risk management. You want to lose your job? Go. Oh, look at that. That S&P's pulling back. What time is it? 11:36. Yeah, I guess that was the reversal pattern. It was just too early for me and too long. What a shame. All right, say la vie. Another trader around the corner. Okay, so yeah, you could go to a firm that's just a trading firm and trade. And there's tons of them in New York City, and they're really good. And the traders are good guys. Like they like sharing knowledge, and they'll throw you on the table. But you're competing with it. It's very competitive. It's not all sunshiny like it is over here with the free folk and training. It's very, very competitive, and you feel a lot of pressure on the floor. And it's a difficult industry. I mean, the stats that I have read is that I think 95% of the people who come into the industry drop out. And that's what I experienced when I had my firm. I mean, basically, to get the job, all you had to do is show up. And we just, cycled people through to try to find the right guy in the right personality trait. Dave, I'm going to be paper trading for the next 3 years, LOL. Yeah, you know what, dude? It's going to be like a video game to you. I mean, I wish I was able to paper trade for my first 3 years, because you just go in and out of it. You'll see, man. It's just like you just know how to make money flow into your account. When you do that, you work out all those bad habits. You get good practice. You understand it. You see it. You're reading the market. Look at the son of a gun. And I'm just swinging over the 5-minute chart so you can see how the Fibonacci laid out. We put that, if everybody remembers what I was talking about this morning, after that rip, and we were looking for that top. But on the 5-minute, that's a single top. I mean, I can't really find where the trade was. It looks like the trade might have been on the 2-minute, but it was a little early in the day. I would have really anticipated it going further. But anyway, so you can see the fib, how it laid out, and we're already at the 55% right here, right? The 50% is the psychological mark. It's really not in the Fibonacci sequence, but it's effective in the market because there's a lot of psyche to it. And a natural retrace would be 61%. And had I gone short, I would have been closing out right around here. Maybe leave one to see if I could get to that 76. But that's not really common. But we're going to watch it and see if it does that. And that's not a bad move. That's 250 to 37. I mean, if it's 35, that's 27, like 17 points. You could have picked up 8 points on that bad boy. That would have been a nicer move than a move on the way up. Darn. That's what happens when you talk for a living. What time frame do you place your fib on? Well, the move is the same. It's just how many bars. So when I was talking to you guys, I just put it on the 5. When the market's kind of slow and choppy, you could probably find a good entry on the 5, like a double top. But if you look, well, that's the 1-minute. So here you see a good triple top, but still, yeah, it was early. I wasn't ready for it. I missed it, and I didn't want to try it because I'm greedy and I want to keep what I made. See, which is wrong. I shouldn't really look at it like that. So here you can see my Fibonacci on my 32nd, and it's the same. The move's the same. It's just how many different bars. This is made up of 30-second bars. This is made up. The other one is made up of 5-minute bars. So you could put it anywhere. You just want to catch that move. So short answer, no, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the time frame is. You're just catching that move. Look at that chart. Look, if you took that break, that's just sweet. Like out of nowhere, boom, you're in the money. Yeah, no. You're in the money like 5 points. Oh, that's a sweet trade. All right, I'll get better at this. I'll get better at entertaining you guys and executing my trades. It's hard to do both. See right here, it's pulling up a little bit. Momentum's turning around. Wondering if that's a bottom. You could look at your 1-minute. And looks like, there's a curve on the momentum, but it looks like it still has energy to pull it around. This might turn into a bear flag right there on the 1-minute and keep running. All right, give me a second. I'm just going to step away for a second. All right, I'm back. Down, 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 down. You're watching the momentum at the bottom of your chart overlaying the volume bars is that RSI. I don't have any volume bars up. And no, everything, all you're seeing is the MACD and the price. So that's all it is. If you're thinking that these blue lines are the volume bars, this is actually the histogram for the MACD. So that's the white lines of the slow line, the red lines the fast line, and the blue is a histogram for the MACD. So that's like a standard MACD. And really, this is the red lines and the white lines. I just get them kind of moving together, but that's giving me an idea of the momentum, the move of the momentum. So the move down, that's the momentum. The move, yeah, the consolidation, and the move up, the momentum. And this kind of gives me the strength of the momentum. When it starts making like really long bars, there's a lot of energy in this move down. It's putting down. The steepness of the line would tell you that. The histogram kind of complements the idea that it's moving aggressively. So that's how you use the MACD. I mean, there are people who trade it. Oh, look at this thing. That would have been such a nice short. And it's giving back a lot, man. Looks like it might be going for that gap fill. No, I'm sorry I wasn't in the move. You're a little choppy. Do you have adjust your rabbit ears? Yeah, no, that's my internet access, but it looks like it's getting a little quirky. It's funny because yesterday was definitely a software issue, and I was streaming really nicely, but today it appears that I have some internet access problems. So, do you need me to explain something again? What's it measuring? Elaborate on what it is. Oh, you don't understand the MACD yet. All right, yeah, cool, the MACD. So the MACD is just showing me the momentum of the move of the stock, right? So I'm going to enlarge this chart here. Just nope, I don't like the way that looks. It's not going to demonstrate it well. Think. All right, let's see if we could work with something we've been working with. Ding, 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 ding. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. I wish I would have taken that trade. Above that. Yep, got it. Hey, what do you call those symbols? The three symbols that you just used. Does anybody know what the name is of those symbols? Okay, so Mac Daddy. Let's see. Okay, look. So this is showing you the momentum the stock has. You know how much energy is building, which gives you an indication of people's interest in it. How it's I'm sorry. I'm just looking at a complete retrace of the S&P. That's a little disconcerting. And I didn't take it. Okay, so the MACD, it's kind of telling us like how much energy, but is momentum equal to volume? Well, you know what? I am sure that in their calculations, they are taking volume into consideration, and but I don't know. I can't. Not that I can't, but I've never bothered to break down how they determine the momentum. I just know that that indicator is accurate, or accurate for how I use it. The work's been done, so I don't need to reinvent it. So I'm sure they intend consider volume in it, but I don't think it's back volume. I think how much volume is going into moving the bar or the security up, and I believe it rolls back in relation to what traded some periods back. So it's not as simple as they're seeing a lot of volume and they're making a line. So it considers there's like a relative aspect to it. But I guess you could use Instapedia. Oh, look at that. We just broke the bottom. And I'm not in the trade. Probably going to do half a gap fill. All right, that's cool. I decided that I was going to do this channel, so no big deal. Okay, so anyway, it's not as simple as you know, this much volume. They go back and it's kind of relative to what's gone on for a certain period, and I think the default period is like maybe 14 periods back, and it demonstrates the volume. But okay, the indicator is a calculation of ever, and they call it momentum, of whatever, and they call it momentum. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, they don't just call it momentum, it's momentum. It's showing that the stock has momentum. There's buying going into it. It's not loose buying. So point in case, right? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so if you're watching my cursor and you look below it, you can see this strong momentum pushing the bar up, and this is going up, and you see strong momentum. But because it's going up, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's momentum. It just means that maybe less people are willing to sell it than buy it. It doesn't mean that there's a lot of buying pushing up. You dig? So you could actually see that the momentum is dying off but the security is still going up, right? Then it trades off a little bit, and here the security is still going up, but the momentum is dying off. So there's just more people are buying it than willing to sell it at this point. But it doesn't mean that there's a lot of volume going into it, and that's what this is kind of telling you. Yeah, you know, relative, and it could be a lot of volume, but relative to what this move is, it may not be a lot of volume. See what I'm saying? So it's just that the energy of move up is kind of fading out. People are questioning whether it's going to still go, or not as many people are getting involved. To move up aggressively on life up, you know, which could appear to be big volume unless it's related to something. See what I'm saying? But again, I don't break down the indicator. I just know that this has energy, and when the energy fades, the interest is fading. Yeah, and it's an indication to me that this is turning around, and the price action is telling me that it's turning around. It's making these highs, and not pushing through. And the indicator, the momentum, is showing me that the trading is fading off. Let's see. Well, S&P 500, we can't really put volume on it, but let's see how. I think we can put volume on the Amazon, and we could look at how it correlates with momentum. Which, yeah, it is complicating it a little bit, but now you have me interested. Stocks can gain lots of momentum from media. Yes. Vol. There are many different momentum indicators. Like, everybody has their own opinion of what they think should go into the determination of momentum. Yeah, I've never really had to question. Look, you could see, a lot of momentum, but not that much volume. Here's a lot of volume, but momentum's fading off. So I don't think you can make the argument that volume equals momentum, at least not in the Mac Daddy. Now we'll leave that Amazon. No, we'll leave the Amazon in minute chart. Oh, look at that move down. Oh, man. All right. What do we always say? There's another trade right around the corner. I really thought that everything would just drop dead. That's going to be unfortunate if it breaks that low, though. And that's such a long move that I'd be apprehensive to jump in on it. What are we looking at the markets? Reuters is Russell's down 18, Composites down 5, S&P still up a dollar. Boo, hiss, hiss. And what are we talking about? 42.21. All right, I got nothing to complain about right now. $115. All right. Any news come out to turn this market around? Yeah. It's pretty funny, but once CNBC publishes something, yeah, the market will go the other way. Like, it'll say it published that S&P makes all new highs and shakes off inflation fears, and then boom, the market turns around and does a retrace. So look, it closed the gap and it's back, bouncing back. I really want to see it hold yesterday's lows. That'll be very uncomfortable if it starts breaking yesterday's low, which is 42.1869. So we caught a nice trade, but it doesn't look like we caught the monster trade of the day. That was 30 points, that move. If you're looking at the 30-second, it looks like it might be building an inverted head and shoulders. Can you guys see that? That would be a bottoming pattern, giving us an indication that that pattern may end. So right now, oh, wrong mouse. Right now, we could argue that that's one side of the shoulder and that's the neckline. So this should stop right there, turn around, and make another shoulder. If it's going to make that pattern. It gave us a divergence because you see the low here and the momentum is here, and then it made another low and the momentum kind of inched up a little bit. So that would be a bullish divergence. So this is an indication that if you were in that trade going down, you'd start looking to take your position off here. We're looking for it to make another low that's a higher low and could be the shoulder to this pattern. And then you could take a trade at the break. Oh, it's not making the low. Come on, go down. Make a nice head and shoulders. Yeah. I'm feeling a little emotional that I missed that trade down. Would I be wrong to take a long call right now while it's bouncing off the low? Okay, so well, I'd be looking at it right now. It's what you know. Why are you taking the long call? That's what you got to ask. Okay, so one reason to have taken a long call would have been this low here with that low on the Mac Daddy, and then it made another low, but the momentum didn't follow that. So that's a bullish there, and then you could enter. You could have entered on that hammer, or you could have waited for the break right here. I still feel that it's going to make another low, and then I would enter the break. I don't think it's going to make a lower low. I think it's going to make the head and shoulder pattern that I'm looking for. See, so right now this is a retracement, and I mean this shoulder's a little higher. I don't like that, but I'd like to see where the next bar goes. I want to see it go down a little more, and I'd like to see that bar close down a little bit, and then I'd probably go long. To be conservative, you can go long at this high right here at 42.28.69 when it breaks that. To be conservative, but I might take the shot at the 42.27.71 for it to retrace. But well, you know what? I kind of like that, right? Because if I look over at my 1 minute, my 1 minute is obviously, my momentum is obviously turning around, right? My 2 minute, my momentum is starting to curve, you know? But my 5 minute, it's flattening, but it hasn't really given me a signal that it's turning around yet. But I still think to take it. So you can consist a high or low. You can take that break and then put your stop right there at the 225.13. Don't jump the trade. That's another problem that new traders have. They're saying, okay, it looks like it's going to break. I'm going to take that trade. No, you don't take it when it's going to break. You take it when it breaks. Don't worry about the few cents you left behind. See, because I mean, it's not a trade yet. You know, nothing. It hasn't triggered. It could go either way at this point. It could go either way after it breaks, but the probability is that it's going to keep running. I mean, now the momentum's in our favor. The lower time frames are in our favor. The only one that hasn't turned yet is the 5-minute. And if you feel encouraged to take that trade, that would be a viable setup. The cloud is posing a little resistance right there. Then the next resistance you have to worry about is I think this is the previous day's open, or this is some days open. We're up 8 points, so I guess this is not the previous day's open. Can you point out the head and shoulders, your crosshairs that's forming right now? Yeah. So here's the move down. Here's the first shoulder. It shoots back and it creates what's called the neckline, and then comes down and creates the head. And then it comes back up, adds to the neckline, and it comes down and creates the second shoulder, right? So ideally, it would come down to where the crosshairs, where the vertical line, horizontal line is, ideally. And ideally, the neckline would be right here. So you could, but I mean, it's never perfect, but it's got to be obvious. Don't look too hard. If you can't see it, then it's not happening. But you can see this happen. Here's a shoulder, here's a head, and here's what could be a shoulder. More importantly, if you took this trade, you made a low, a really low low, and you have a divergence. You know, it's obvious that the momentum is not pushing down. The momentum is turning. And then you made a higher low, which starts a different trend. So you could argue that if it made a higher low, it's going to make a higher high, especially with the momentum pushing up. So you enter right here and try to take advantage of that higher high. Now it's genuinely made that higher high, but it may not move that aggressively. It could just keep continuing. You know, you could take this trade and then your stop would have started here. When it broke and moved, you want to squeeze that stop a little bit. Yeah, you know, you might. I mean, I might be out of this trade right now if I took that trade, if I took that break, because it bounced back like that. But it may continue running, you know. But I might say, okay, it's not behaving well. I'm going to get out of it, which I think that might get, you know, that's probably how I would have played that. If I even took the trade at all. I mean, there's very little reason not to, other than I don't like the behavior of the market during the season, and it just seems like I'm getting one decent trade of it, and it's a wrap. You know, today I could have gotten 2 decent trades out of it, and that top was good. I mean, you know, that run up and the reversal is an orderly market. You know what I mean? So if you like what you're seeing, hit them likes. Hit the likes. And if you're getting something out of it, help me build a learning channel by subscribing and hitting the bell so that YouTube knows I exist. If you want to support the channel, there's a Cash App link down in the description. You could support the channel. We'll try to get some content out and some learning videos, which I had hoped to do today, but today's actually an interesting day. There's plenty to talk about that you could learn from. So we'll just save that that information for when we have a boring day, which this will probably shift to a boring day in the afternoon. So I would have been out of that trade. It doesn't look like it's doing anything. It's not really moving. But yeah, you know, I mean, if I was focusing on trading, I would have taken the reversal, yeah, you know, and then tried that next reversal. Maybe lost a few sticks, but it wouldn't really matter because I made a killing on the way up, and I would have made a killing on the way down, and yeah, you know, I wouldn't have mind the price to pay to try that one. It is just me, or is Dave's voice not in sync with the video? Maybe turn down the video from 720 to 480. would save some bandwidth. Oh, do I have the ability to do that? I'm a newbie. I'm getting an indication that it's getting an error. I have a lot going on here, so it's probably chopping out. Now, well, it keeps popping in. Yeah, I guess I'm having internet access. So how do I control? I guess I'll work on that tonight, man. I'll try to figure out how to control what my stream is. I don't see it in there. Okay, wait a minute. So if you guys have some suggestions, Zach's saying yeah. So is it Anthony or is it me? I mean, I know that that my stream is kind of compromised. So I'm just gonna right away assume that this is me. Okay, so I see my stream status is poor. Stream settings. I'll bet that does it. Yeah, that's Zach's question. Go into settings. That gear thing. That gear thing. Oh, I'm not that much of a newbie. I actually see something here that says screen settings. Eh, okay. Yes, I'm using the OBS software. Yo, this kid is so sharp. See, now I've seen those settings when I'm watching a video, Kerry, but I don't see them in this studio. Hey, Zach, never mind. Pretty sure you got it figured. No, I don't, man. I mean, I see stream settings. I have DVR enabled. What would happen if I disable the DVR? And that is in the YouTube studio. One sec. All right. Are you Googling this? I appreciate it, man. I mean, I think we just have a compound of issues here, you know? Zach's sitting there saying, "What a boomer." All right, cool. Thanks, man. All right, yeah, I see no other settings on Live Stream Studio that would adjust the stream. So I guess it's in my OBS, which looks like it just froze. All right, I'm back. All right. All I have is audio settings. Here's my display. That's the private settings. The OBS crashed, so I got it back up. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm hitting settings. All right, if you could hear me, Zach, I am. Yep, we can hear you. All right, cool. I'm in my settings. I have general, output, source, projectors, hide cursor, make projectors always on top. So yeah, it doesn't. Oh, okay, there we go. Stream output. Oh, I found some output, Bubby. Audio, video. Let's see, video. Think. What do you got to say? Output scaled resolution, aspect ratio, downscale filter. What am I looking for, Zach? I'm looking. I'm in the video, and it says base canvas. So that's obviously the canvas that represents the stream. Output scaled resolution is 1280. So I'm thinking that's the size of the screen. By cubic. That's not the speed. I have nothing that video output is currently active. Please turn off your outputs to change video settings. All right, I can't really do this. What's your output resolution? My output resolution is 1280 by 720. And I'm getting some excellent connection right now. And if you're looking at that 30-second chart, you could see that return happened. I mean, I would have been popped out of that trade. Oh, no, it didn't. Oh, yeah, I would have been knocked out right after the break. But I might have taken that break again. And really, that's only 4 points, so no biggie. Okay, is there a 1280 by 480? There is, but I don't have the ability to edit it unless I stop the stream. So you guys hang with me and I will make that move, hopefully change it and get back up. Yeah, I know now I'm good because the connection picked up. So it's an internet issue, or my internet access. But I'm thinking that, all right, so you know what? Now that it's good, we're going to leave it there. And since Zach schooled me, I know what to do. So the next time we're up, I'm going to try a lower setting and be able to avoid this, or hopefully avoid this, instead of stopping the stream right now. We all agreed, my free folk? All right, so I made no connections. It's just the internet connection is better. And yeah, you know, I mean, you guys are city folk, man. You have good service. I mean, where I get my internet, I think they got a gerbil on a wheel spinning a generator so that they could pump a signal to me. But that's all right. We have faith in Elon. Sounds like a plan. All right, very good. I appreciate you guys patronizing me. All right, so if you look at that 30-second chart, that head and shoulders worked out. I mean, it kicked back a little bit. It's sloppy, and when you have a market with a lot of volatility and momentum, you don't really get that kickback. It just rips on the break. I would have closed the trade when it broke back below that line, the shoulder. And yet, you know, I might have taken another shot on the next break. But you could probably put a Fibonacci on the move. Let's just get a 30-minute chart over, and I'll show you. So it made this move up. It closed the gap, which I think was the goal of this move, and we're probably going to close right around here back in that consolidation. So it made the move up, closed the gap. You could put a fib on that, which is the same move on every chart, but we're just going to put it on the 30, and we could go down. And when we took that reversal, when we took the reversal on the 30 right here on the break, you could start looking at your Fibonacci's for your targets. So we would have entered somewhere around the 428. Here's the 428, and it's pushing up. And actually, I would probably take one off right here because we're hitting resistance on yesterday's open or prior day's open. But that line right there, that's why I use the line so I don't have to keep looking back. And then I would just maybe take the next one off at my 50. So I use the indicator that's standard with NT8, Ninja Trader, so I don't have to keep going back and putting all these lines on my charts, creating these resistances. So this one is just showing the previous days open, high, low, and close. And that's what these lines are. And I just don't keep track of what the colors are. It's irrelevant to me. I just know that they'll form some resistance, and it would be the cause for the market to stop or hesitate around there. And then I begin watching what my momentum does, and I make the decision if it's going to push through. And looking at my fib, I'm pretty confident I'm going to knock out that 50. So this is the retrace that I was talking to Anthony about, and this is the move that it's making. And I just put the fib on the 30-minute chart just so we could see where the levels are. You could actually expand the 30-second chart. You're going to have the same move. You could put the Fibonacci's there, and you create your targets and your trading ranges. I wonder if anybody new subscribed today. Look at that baby just move. Did you take that trade, Anthony? Maybe they were swapping jerseys. Yeah, it could be. They might have stepped on one. Interesting market, man. So there's some attention in the market, and things are happening today. Am I at 120? Thanks for checking that. Wow, 120, huh? Yo, we picked up like 20% in a day. Yo, that's cool. That's cool. No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, it's hard to trade when you're talking. I mean, really, I mean, one big rule of thumb, especially when I was running a floor, was no distractions. You know, guys wanted radios on and all sorts of stuff, and you really have to you have to focus, man. And it's hard when the market slows down like yesterday, but the trades still present themselves. You really have to focus. Otherwise, you're missing trades left and right. And yeah, you know, that's a problem. That eats into your probability, right? Because again, it's like you know, the law of large numbers. I mean, you have it a large enough sampling, and in the end, you're going to net out a positive. And yeah, you know, that's classic trading. These are unusual moves, though. This is a retrace of that move down, and it's actually popping through that 50. So I would probably take a third off here, and I just call that out so you guys get a general idea on how do I manage the trade. And then I probably maybe take a little piece off at the 55, see if I can get to the 61. But if I make that 61, I'd probably be out of the trade entirely. But yo, you see how simple this is, how clean it is. I mean, you read all of this rhetoric, and people are pumping all these indexes, and you know, for the past 5 days, everybody here has seen you know, money making trades, or the past 4 days, just using standard things that come with all your trade platforms, but understanding what price action is and momentum, and that's it. That's all you need. That's all you need. Anything else is just for quality of life. Like I said, I have those previous days, high, low, close indicators, prior days, and that's just for quality of life. So I don't have to sit here and keep, you know, running the lines, and you know, I might miss something, and it just lets me know that all right, might slow down a little bit here. Nothing to worry about. It's expected. You know, and that's all it should be. That's all indicators should be. You should just be able to read the market. On the 30-second chart, if you guys know where my 30-second chart is, actually, I'll just move my cursor there. You know, I'm seeing a little flattening of the momentum, so I would be looking at it and kind of considering where's it going to go. Where's the retrace? Or if it's going to retrace, it may turn around. So I'll roll back to my 1-minute charts, and I'll see that the momentum still looks kind of strong on the 1-minute, very strong on the 2-minute, and the 5-minute really just turned a little positive. It actually looks like it may start rolling here, or maybe looking at 42.36 and rolling. It may be another $2 here, but I think it may start rolling here and test that low. Hopefully it'll make a lower higher low, and then it's trend at this point. But the 5 minute is kind of telling me that. I'm going to swing that over so you can see it. I'm looking at the 5 minute and think I have a Fibonacci from the open to the top. And we did 126% retrace to fill the gap. But now we're coming back up to the 50% line, which is telling me that me turn around and head the other way. And actually, to get a better feel, let's get that fib out and let's put a Fibonacci on the move that it made. And we're at the 50% retracement. So it's a good probability that it rolls over to make another high, another low around here. Not a lower low necessarily, but it may just roll around, make another low, and then continue its march. And that's what the momentum would tell me. See, we have this low right here. We have this higher low right here. The momentum is still telling me on the 5 minute that, you know, it's comfortably moving up, considering yesterday's move. A little roll over with another low, and then move up again. And that's just the market moving in good order. A nice orderly market. So looking at my 1 minute chart, it's at 42.35.50, and to me it looks like it's heading for 42.41. I'm thinking 42. Yeah, it could be. Your chart is at 35. You're looking for 41. My chart's at 36 right now. 41. Well, I don't know. That's 61. When I put the fib on it on the 5 minute, that 61 is 42.38.47. But it looks like it's running out of steam. I mean, this is a brand new bar. We have 4 minutes to go on this bar, but it looks to me like it's running out of a little steam. I think it might roll, and I'm expecting that it's going to make a higher low. Does everybody understand what I'm saying when I say I expect it to make a higher low? And I see that my internet is cheesying out again. All right, a higher low. That would be where pivot points come in, right? So this is a high right here, right? The stock moved up, made a high, and then came down. It's very aggressive, but here's the low that it made. Now it's shooting up, and it'll come down. If it stops right where my crosshair is, we could say that's another low. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for it to come down and make a low that's higher than this low, a higher low, and that would be an uptrend. All right, so I mean, that's exactly what I wanted to cover today, but today seems like a lot of action, and there's a lot to talk about. But I expect that it should start drying up because we're in lunch, and maybe we'll take a few minutes, a little bit, and then come back, and we'll just start talking about, consolidation and trends and pivots and stuff like that, so that everybody's clear what's transpiring and what I'm looking at. And therein lies the value of this channel, man, because this is what trading is. You know, it's not finding the next hot stock. It's not that's entertaining, but that's not how you build a career or stay. It's not sustainable. You know, trading is sustainable, and this is what trading is. You'd probably see a lot more of it, but us boomers don't know how to use YouTube. So, you know, these guys still writing books, the guys who know how to do this stuff. You know? I like that plan. All right, cool. You're expecting it to make a red candle, but higher at a previous red candle. I don't know if that really is what I'm expecting. If that explains what I'm expecting. Um, So basically, all right, so everybody just take a deep breath because I see exactly what you guys need to know. So we're gonna find the moment that we can get into that, break it down so it's perfectly clear. You know, but this is good. This is very productive because it's very clear to me what you guys need to know at this juncture. We could you know, we could build on that a little bit and take you forward. And for me doing that, you know it's time for me to panhandle. So spread the word, hit the like button if you didn't already hit the like button, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I have things going on. And if you see it in your heart to help the free folk, drop a little cash on that Cash App so that I could get some people to help me build this channel. And apparently, I have to buy a satellite dish so that I can connect with Elon and get some good streaming here. This has been a public service announcement. Look, this baby just keeps crawling up, man. Crawling up, crawling up, crawling up. It's not even making that low. So, okay, let me swing this up. And I mean, don't get uptight about what I'm saying like you have to remember this because I'm going to talk about this over and over and over, and we're going to lay it out where it's very clear for you, and you're going to know exactly how I trade, and you're going to decide if that's right for you. So this right here on the 2-minute, we call that a single bottom, right? Some dudes that trade that, I just hate it because you just can't tell where it's going. I mean, what do we know? Here's a momentum, moves down, it's very aggressive, it peaks, it turns around, it goes up. I mean, it didn't wave any signs at me. You know, it didn't tell me what it's going to do. It's just a killer. You know, um, it's not even a nice hammer. You know, we talked about hammers yesterday. I mean, even if it gave me on this red bar a nice hammer, and a hammer would be Brooklyn. A hammer would be if this body was at least or at the most a third of the length. So the tail would be 2/3 the length of the body. So really, if you look at this green bar, um, that my cursor is circling, that's what a hammer should look like. And in like in a with a ratio. So if it was this long, it still should look like this. The body should still be this size relative to this tail. That would be a good hammer. And then we could that would be a good indication that this might be a bottom. I would take that hammer. I can't take this hammer, man, because this hammer, it's not a hammer. Yeah, you know, this just looks like a down bar. And then everybody decided to go the other way. I mean, yeah, you know, that's just not fair. And that's what algorithms will do. Computer trading, like they'll detect subtleties in the market that we can't pick up as human beings, and they'll catch these sort of trades. But yeah, you know, we can't catch these sort of trades. Or maybe there's a way and I just don't know it. I mean, you can't say this. So let's just say that Dave off the grid can't catch that trade. But if he had a hammer, I'd be in it. A double bottom, I'd be in it. You know, and that's why you know we might. Oh, what a shame. Here we go. We might see an indication on a lower time frame. You know, and this is why you don't want distractions because you need good situation awareness. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's the hammer, right? And it's still this is the same move on a lower time frame. It's still the infamous single bottom. Here's the V, but because it's a smaller time frame, the momentum looks a little choppier. But this is the V in momentum. But the 1 minute presented a single time, a nice hammer, and I would have taken that bad boy, especially because behind it I could see all this congestion right here. So this is really giving me a good indication it's going to turn around. And this is a previous day's open, high, low. I don't know what the color represents, but it's something went on right here. The red one is obviously the previous day's low. So this might have been the previous day's open. But, you know, a hammer by these two important lines, that's a good indication that this market's going to turn around on me. And that's why you can't have any, because if I was just trading, I would be looking at all the charts, and that's where my focus is. And yet, you know, I'd be like, oh, look at that hammer, boom, and I'd take that trade. And if I took that trade, I would enter once that hammer broke. Don't jump the gun. You wait for the trade to trigger, because it's not a trade until it triggers. And then I would put my stop down here, because if you're playing hammer, it should break that hammer and keep going. It should never pull back past that hammer. So you don't let it pull back past the hammer and hope that it turns around, because if that fails, there's a good indication that it's just going to keep making new lows. You may want to do that resolution setting I was talking about. He rubs the satellite with his cheetah blood before they launch it. Hey, man, whatever he does, you know, just get that baby up there and let me do it. Watching has been 100% improved strategy. Yo, Tom, let me tell you, buddy, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, hit the Cash App. What I miss? Spread the word. All right, so you know, that's trading, man. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. You know, what's this move right here? You got 22 to 20 to 38. Oh man, what a move! Oh man, I'm beating myself up playing with you guys. 22 to 38. So you're talking about 10, 16 points on an option. You're getting half a buck, so you got 8 points. That's $800 a day. I mean, if you were just taking a sample, you do 3 contracts. You know, obviously you wouldn't ride all 3 contracts to 800, but you've got to walk away with at least 3,200 on that trade. Right? No, that's a little aggressive. Maybe about 1,800 or so, if you peeled it off. And you know, this morning's trade, there were 3 decent trades here today. So if you took very conservative trades and 3 trades, you're probably looking at a $4,500 a day, $5,500 a day. But that's okay, because there's another trade right around the corner. And we have our spread on, so we're making money, right? And there's a lot of green in the market, and it makes us all feel good. It's a beautiful day. We're nice and calm. We're all about the love. We're not watching hate porn and poverty porn, right? It is a good life. Hammer is not like a bullish reversal pattern. A hammer is an indication of a bullish reversal. It's not a pattern. A pattern would be more than just 1 bar. But a hammer is a reversal bar, an indication of a reversal bar. And just keep in mind, Zach Attack, nothing is 100%, right? We're playing probabilities, and that's why we use our stops, because you know, it's probabilities, it's not guarantees. And we just want to have our ammunition and be able to take advantage of the law of large numbers. And if we go into these trades with these probabilities, net, we're going to be making money. You know, we're going to have losing trades. It's the nature of the beast. If you can't handle that, you know, this isn't the industry for you. But net, we should be making money. And I can't even say at the end of the month. You know, but net, you'll be a profitable trader over an extended period of time. And that's what you're looking for. If you're looking to be a profitable trader every week, all week, may not happen. But, you know, 2-to-1 risk-reward ratios, good risk management, use your stops, consistent entries, and you are a trader. Trader. This is what we're talking about. All right, so here, you see right here, we just made a higher low, like we were talking about before. We obviously were looking for it, actually here. That's a high low right there, right? Here's a low, traded up. This is the next high, made a higher low, traded up, made a high. That's a trend. You know, it looked like it went into a bullish trend. It came back, and it still made a higher low, and then it made a higher high. And that's it. Oh, I got to make a call. Yeah, I got it. You know, so that's an indication of an uptrend. Yeah, you know, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So we're going to go over that, and I'm going to try to demonstrate it. I think the hammer means it tested the low, but got rejected, and the next bar will determine the direction. Yeah, man, that's the way you broke it down. Yep, absolutely. So it made the hammer, it tested that area, rejected that area, and direction. But if you want to see if that's a reversal pattern, then next bar is how you establish your entry. What did you just call me? Oh, no, man. I wasn't talking to you. I kept getting a reminder to do something. So I was talking to my calendar. You said with the 2-to-1 ratio, you'll only have to be right 33% of the time. So if you're risking 1 point to make 2, you are, yeah. Zack attack. That's exactly it, man. You risk 1 point to make 2. Yeah, you know, you stay within that spirit. So if you're risking 6 points, you want to make 12. And you look at your targets, and sometimes you look at your targets and say, all right, I need to make 12, but there's only 4 points to my target. I'm not doing it. Yeah, I'm not taking that trade. I'm going to pass. You don't want to risk 6 to make 4. Damn gerbils, we're losing you. Yeah, I see that. Maybe actually, what time is it? So let's hang out the next 10 minutes. When at 12 o'clock, let's take like a half-hour break, and I'm gonna stop the stream, drop the quality, and then pick up the stream again in a perfect world. And we'll meet back and we'll do it. And then maybe we'll just talk a little bit about simply market movement. And I'll try to demonstrate what market movement is, and what you should be looking for, so that we all use the same verbiage, and we all have the same understanding of what it means when the market makes certain patterns. Simple good stuff, man. Simple good stuff. And if you're a trader paying attention today, I mean, you know what? This could. I don't know if I would have went that aggressive, but this could have been roughly $35,000 to $50,000 a day. I mean, if I was taking my max contracts easily at 50, maybe even a $90,000 a day. But in this climate, I would have traded that heavy, probably a $35,000 a day. But don't tell everybody that sort of money's to be made daily. Then they'll take our money. No, I'm just kidding. There's plenty for everybody. 30-minute break sounds good. Yeah, sure. Everybody responds when I talk about a break. Yeah, we'll do it in 10 minutes. We'll do it at 12 o'clock. Then I'll drop back the quality, and we'll see if that gives us good streams. But hey, before you go, spread the word. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell. Help the free folk and drop a few bucks on that Cash App with the link in the description. So we could argue that the market is range bound today, but that's one hell of a range. I mean, we're talking about 42.50 to 42.20, 30-point range. Actually, that's really not one hell of a range. That's what you see during the winter markets. You can get easily a 30-point range, and then you could trade in that 2 or 3 times during the day. and make some money. Yet, what we looked at yesterday is what the summer markets look like. But yet, we'll still get these days. And Dave will get better at trading and talking, and you won't hear me cry about the money I left on the table. But that's okay. There's always another trade around the corner. Look at that 30-second chart now, just making those clean. You can call these flags. Very simple. It goes up, consolidates, and then bump, breaks, bar, and pops up. Consolidate, breaks, the next bar pops up. And if you play, and this is like a legit flag. Look, there's a run up, run up, run up, consolidates, and bank, it starts to move up again. But I mean, I wouldn't play more than 3 flags in a row. Right here, I'd stop messing with this thing. And I wouldn't, I mean, I don't just keep, looking for trades, looking for trades, looking for trades. You get into that habit of overtrading, and you blow up your account. Very funny. A lot of movement, a lot of money to be made today. But if you look at the market on a whole, didn't really move much. We're up 19 points today. Did somebody hit the? Yeah, you're gonna get trolls, man. You're gonna get you're gonna get haters. That what are you gonna do? That's funny. Yo, but at least they're interacting with me. I mean, you know what? A thumbs down is better than no thumb at all. Yeah, $90,000. Yeah, that's a lot of money, Zach. You have no idea what you're in for. If you're smart and patient, don't overestimate what you'll make right off the jump, and don't underestimate what you're capable of making in this industry. People do that all the time. That you see that with the AMC trades and the BB trades and all that stuff. Everybody wants to make $1 million in first year, and it's crazy, and that's how you get hurt. But don't lose sight that $1 million a year is really a layup in this industry if you're a professional. And when I say if you're a professional, I mean that you have good disciplines, good practices. You're in control of your emotions. Hopefully, I'm representing or displaying professional attitude. Although I know I get emotional, I like to sing. But I've traded with guys that you have no idea, what kind of day they're having. They're just, they might as well just be shuffling a deck of cards. I mean, that's how stone-faced they are, and very cool. And there's a couple of guys out there right now that they're so dry that I don't even like hanging out with them because they're just very dry. But they are phenomenal traders. Yeah, Anthony, topping tails are an indication that that a trend is coming to an end, right? Because the bulls push that bar up, but the bears push it back down, and then the next bar the bull pushes it up, and the bear pushes it back down. The next one the bull pushes it up, and the bears push it back down. But because a trend is coming to an end, it doesn't mean that it's going to reverse and be bearish. It could just sink into a consolidation, which is part of the move up. So you don't want to take every tail setup or triple tail setup, and that's where the momentum comes to play, and that's where your trigger points are. If you get a tail or a couple of tails, it could indicate that there's a top, and it's testing the top, and you could try that trade out on breaks and stuff like that. But if you see strong momentum turning around, heading down, then yeah, that might be a reversal trade. That might be an indication of a reversal. So when you see any topping pattern, one of two things could be happening. It could be reversing, or it could be consolidating. And therein lies the rub. You have to figure out what it's doing, and that's why you're going to take a little test, by entering the trade and putting your stop loss. Yeah, and if it doesn't break out but goes into consolidation, it's going to cost you a few bucks, but no big deal because we're looking for the breakout, or the reversal. But we'll spend a few dollars to figure out if that's going to happen. Not me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Yeah, you bet, buddy. Yeah, that's what we're here. So put the word out. Let's get a few guys who appreciate it. Yeah, let's fill up the channel, get some people trading and making money and really trading. Like as a living, not as a crapshoot. I mean, it's a viable trade if you sit down, do the homework, go out there, look for the short squeezes, and play those short squeezes, and that'll work. You could play every short squeeze and put a stop on it, and just pay a small price to try every short squeeze, and then even if you're wrong on 10 and you hit one like AMC or GameStop, it pays for all those losses and some. That could be. Look at that dump. I don't see a dump. That could be a viable trading strategy. I mean, that's not really what's being promoted all over the news and the internet and everything like that, but that could be a viable trading strategy. I mean, that's what happened when people shorted the economy or the real estate market. They put these shorts on and controlled their risk and waited to see if the real estate market tanks or if bonds tank. You know. Um, and yet, over a few years, they might have lost a few bucks, but ultimately, boom, that trade paid off. What program am I using? I'm using the OES, but hello, Brimo. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate it, man. I hope you hit the like and the subscribe and tell a few friends. But if you notice the name, off-grid trading, and these are some of the trade-offs for living that free folk kind of life. So, I have some internet issues that I have to contend with, but we're going to work it all out. I mean, the channel's only 4 days old, so we'll try to figure out how we could best service everybody. But life's all about trade-offs. So your trade-off is you get a really nice guy, but lousy stream. You dumped like 5 minutes ago. It's just a slow connection. Your voice is no longer in sync with the video. Yeah, and I'm getting the indication. But what time do we have? In 2 minutes, we'll have the goal of being back here at 12:30, checking out what the market's doing, and then maybe we'll just talk a little bit about how what the market looks like and what it's telling us and what trends are and stuff like that.